Oh, yeah. Welcome to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and Captain Ayman. This is the Homies podcast where we talk about anything and everything, but no politics, which I actually posted a video about that, no politics. You know, I feel like every quarter I have to post something that turns people off just to cull the audience because otherwise you attract. Because sometimes, here's the thing about social media is the only way to grow is through others, through the populace. And so, yes, you want to make your niche content, but at the same time, the only way to grow is when other people share it. Not even other people share it, when other people watch it who aren't part of your core audience, which is the unfortunate fact about social media. You have to go through others to find your people. And I hate it. I hate it, but it's true. I haven't been intentional about this. It just happens. I make videos every now and then that appeal to a broad audience. And then it goes crazy viral. And then I attract a lot of people who look through the catalog. They're attracted to maybe the type of content or the energy I'm putting off. And then they hit the follow button. But also people are lazy. So they're not going to go too far down or scroll too far into your feed. So those first few videos that show up make all the difference. Now you can cater it, you can tailor it. That's what the pinned videos are supposed to be. But I think a lot of people default to their most popular videos, which I don't think is the right idea. So I haven't done that. But because of this unfortunate fact, you end up attracting a lot of people, but people who are lazy, who don't want to go further into your feed to see what you're really about. And so you end up attracting a following, but then, the energy isn't quite right. And this is true for a lot of online communities. There's a post on Reddit that someone mentioned on a live stream once where they were describing what it's like to moderate community online and what happens over time as it gets bigger and bigger. The quality of the people gets diluted. And because of that, the posts, things that used to be ironic or satirical now are taken seriously because the people who've joined later don't realize or what the joke is, don't know enough about the community to be in on the joke. And so then what was normally just said in jest is now taken seriously. And this is how you can get communities that start off satirical into this hateful communities, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, no, it's people miss the joke because it was never intended for them to be a part of it. So this is what happens to all communities. And I think the approach that I'm taking right now is to be careful about who I'm attracting. And yeah, had a few viral videos go on Instagram specifically. And I've decided, I posted a video about why there's no politics as part of this platform, or at least what I'm trying to discuss with you guys, because it creates a lot of negativity. And usually people get very emotional about this topic and can't think about it in a rational way, or the discourse gets angry and combative unnecessarily. And so then you just get all this bad energy. And I realized as much as I used to enjoy politics, that kind of kills it for me. And I don't care to spread more of that type of energy in the world. As easy as it would be to grow too, because a lot of people doing content like that. The content creators out here, you see the Patrick Bet Davids and all that. It's like you used to do business, now you're getting into politics, and maybe he's going to be making a run for some local politics or maybe even higher office. But yeah, it's an easier way to make content because it's on top of people's minds and it incites a primary emotion in people, anger. And this is highlighted well in the book Trust Me, I'm Lying by Ryan Holiday, where he explains how he used people's emotions and human character and its biases and its proclivities to build brands, essentially. And that's what he did. And I don't care to do it that way. And so his book was meant to be a warning about how this is what to look out for. This is what marketers are doing. This is how they're manipulating blogs and mainstream media, and watch out for it. And a lot of people just read that book thinking, hey, this is the playbook on how to operate, which kind of misses the point. But that's what happens sometimes. So it's unfortunate, but I don't care to. I don't care to be a part of that machine. And so, yeah, I know I'm taking a harder path. And I thought about this today. I forgot I was going to tell someone I was going to go live. I'm live. Yeah, so I've chosen to take a harder path on purpose. And I know it means growing slower, but I think it's a more purposeful growth. You know, like I test these things in my own life. So when I say stuff on stream or on camera or post a video or something, I'm not just talking out of my ass, right? I'm actually living it. I'm living it. And if I'm wrong, I pay the price first because I'm living it. But you know, that's the integrity I think a lot of content creators just don't have, which whatever. They just pop off on whatever. Literally, I stitched a video today where this woman was explaining how like I guess I don't know, I don't have to get into it. It doesn't matter. But as far as topics today, I have some updates on these wallets. Just crossed an interesting milestone within the last week or so. No politics, so that's the video I was just talking about that I posted literally today. Pizza science, so I posted a video about explaining why the cheese will burn you, but the crust won't when it's fresh out of the oven. Regarding pizza, so we could talk about that. And then Romans 13. Yeah, this is a Bible chapter. It's something I've been struggling with a lot lately because I have this rebellious spirit, but at the same time, Romans 13 is pretty clear about obeying the government. So I haven't quite squared that up. If you guys want to talk about it, that'd be cool. Or offer some guidance or experience on that. All right, let's talk about the wallet first. All right, so pretty cool. This is the wallet. For those of you who don't know, you can get it on my website, on the Table Moments website, tamo.tv. This is a prototype. It has the white logo. It has the metal corners. I'm experimenting with the brass and the gold here. I'm worried that the finish will wear away, so I've been testing it out on my own. And then this is like a modified Red Bull logo that I put together as a test. But it'd be cool one day to be able to make custom logos for you guys, or like, I don't know, you put it into an order and then I can make it. But that's a long-term vision. I might need a direct-to-film printer to be able to do that. And that would just be a cool add-on for like, maybe it would be cool if I could do it with every order. But essentially, I sell these wallets, crossed 50 orders. Right now it's at 55, so it's crazy. Like literally a couple of days ago, it crossed 50. And over $1,000 in sales, which is small numbers, not gonna lie, especially over the last 2 months. But a majority of that came within the last month. So it's actually growing 30%. At least from month to month over these last 2 months. I don't know if that's enough to say that this is consistent, but I think I'm onto something here. So it'd be cool. And I just joined a makerspace, so I'm going to be able to make significant improvements to the design and maybe even the delivery of this stuff and simplify and speed up the whole process of making these. Because right now they take me about 10 minutes a piece to make, which means I can clear about 6 an hour. Which is not bad, but if you factor in the labor costs, which I've also included in a spreadsheet, it's not it's profitable, but barely. But eventually I'm gonna have to build technology, some sort of like automated, or at least tools that help me make these a lot faster. And made a significant improvement on the laser cutting over there to cut down the laser cutting time in half. And then next step is building a tool that can help me create these edges faster. Right now it's like a delicate, tedious process of lining everything. Eventually I need to make it simple enough that someone can do it, make it without any training. And if I can do that, then I can actually hire someone to do this and then also make them a lot faster. So if I can get to like 20 an hour, 30 an hour, which would allot about 30 an hour would allot about 2 minutes per wallet. And this would be throughout the manufacturing process from start of making it to completion, 2 minutes of total time to make each. And so basically I would just calculate it based on like how many I can produce per hour. If I can get there, then I could just funnel money into ads and then just basically print money. Because the way it works is right now my return on ad spend. So for every dollar I spend in advertising costs on Meta, on Facebook, I get $2.50 back. And so the first of that $2.50 pays for the original ad or the reach, and then the additional 1.5 I get to keep. And so that's how this works. This is all just an equation, guys. And this is the nature of e-commerce. And it'd be cool to like actually show you guys eventually. But and once I figure this out and I'm solid and I understand this at a deep level, it'd be cool to just teach people or even help other people launch things, things that they're working on or things that they want to work on. But that's the plan. eventually long term, but I'm learning. It'd be cool to get my return on to ad spend. If it could get it around 3 and consistently around 3, bro, like I'll be printing money. And the funny thing is, if I could get it even higher, that would be even crazier. And what I've been doing is actually like, I've been getting referrals from people. So people who've bought it, they're telling other people, and that's pretty cool. And it's clean. And yeah, I don't know. It's just nice that finally all the work is starting to pay off, but it still means a lot more work to scale this up and actually build all the things to make it possible to scale this, which is not there yet. Another thing I've been looking into are USPS barcodes, the intelligent mail barcode system. I've been experimenting with that. I've been adding them to a lot of the packages, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting the data in the back end. So I got to email them to see what's the deal. Maybe there's some issue with my account, but it'd be cool to give people updates on where their mail is, where their package is in real time. And the cool thing about using the intelligent mail barcode system is it's free. Like I just need to add it. And luckily I found a software package that will let me incorporate it into an app. So I don't have to figure out how to like generate the barcodes, which is like I wouldn't say it's a complicated process to generate, to take a string of numbers and convert it into a 65 character barcode. And I was putting off having to learn it and figure it out. And it turns out someone already did it and I could just use their code. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll worry about figuring it out later, which I honestly don't even have to, as long as I can incorporate it. I might have to make updates to the library, but still, it's pretty cool. And so adding these small features, like how can I deliver more and more and more value without raising the price and without it costing me more money in terms of effort or money? And what I was thinking was I'm experimenting with this idea of unreasonable delivery, giving something, selling something, or offering a service to a point that it's so good that people think it's too good. It's an extension of the unreasonable hospitality idea. It's like, how can you go above and beyond for somebody? And in this case, I want to do that for these packages. Even though it is $20 a piece, it's like most people would be like, it's not worth it. But I'm just thinking longer term when it scales up, how special this is that even just paying $20 for a minimalist front pocket, forgot in your pocket wallet, there's so much effort put into this, not only in the craftsmanship of this to make sure it is something that is reliable, will work well, as intended, as advertised, but then also the delivery of it to you, the packaging that it comes in, even the customizations that you can include on this. I think that, and that pushes people to want to appreciate what you've given them. So I haven't gotten a single return yet, not a single one. And two, it encourages people to share it with others. So not only is the product good, but the delivery and the care that's been put into it compels others to share it with each other. And that's the real unlock for business. When other people tell others about what you're offering, service or product or otherwise. If you notice, companies that get product market fit, as they say, as the tech bros would say, they essentially achieve this to a point where the thing grows by itself. And you can only get that when people share the stuff for you. That's how all the big names, all the big companies, the Facebooks, the Googles, that's how they started. It's not because they were spending money on ads. It's people were telling other people, have you joined Facebook? Have you used this search engine in Google? And so that's what happens. Like even Tesla doesn't even do advertising like that. Not like all the other auto manufacturers, just people talking about or sharing how cool their car is. And that does the work for you. And so it's like, if you can get to that point, I also noticed it's true for social media as well. All the posts that went viral on Instagram for me, all of them were posts that had hella shares, especially that Black People Who Sound White video, man, tons of shares. Or like the microwave video, same thing. And I'm realizing like it all comes down to like whether or not you can produce something that people are compelled to share. And this is like a classical virality, I like to call it. The old way things actually grew was through others sharing it, not through some algorithm, or which is why it's just like the algorithm, everyone wants to get into the stream, the river, the flow of the algorithm. But instead, what if you can live beyond it, where the algorithm doesn't matter? It's that people push your stuff for you. because they like what you're doing so much so that they take action. And that's when you know you've really hit on something, when people are compelled to take action without you asking. And that's a hard place to get to, but if you can get there, it's like the huge unlock. And so that's the self-interested reason for doing it. But as far as me and the delivery of these products, I care about the quality because I know, yeah, it's $20, but I care that you spent it on this. You could have spent it on a couple Chipotle bowls or I don't know, whatever you could buy for $20 these days, which I guess isn't that much. Thanks, Joe Biden. But the idea is like I put so much effort into this because I care about, I don't know, I care about delivering quality stuff. I guess a lot of people don't care these days, but I do. And so it'd be cool to see grow. And plus, I really love the idea of like growing this product in this, the selling of this to $1 million business. Not because I care about money like that. I don't. I just think it's hilarious that it's like, yeah, grew $1 million business selling wallets, thin wallets that actually turns out have medical reasons for why you might want to use this for people who have like back issues, pain, sciatica, stuff like that. Turns out it actually works really well for that. You'll forget it's in your pocket because it's thin. You wouldn't think it matters, even just like the small stacking, because like a regular wallet is like maybe a few millimeters thicker than this, but that makes all the difference. That makes all the difference. And it's cool. It's been cool. Oh, and then also experimenting. I might bring back an old idea. So this originally started as a transparent wallet idea. I was making the whole concept of fusing the layers together. That's where that came from fusing layers of plastic together. So if you can see here, it's actually fused. I don't sew it, which allows the thing to be as thin as possible because literally it's just layers of fabric that have been fused together. And it's a thermoplastic nylon. And then it's a cool weave pattern too, which I was able to source on Amazon. So it's convenient. I can order more material and it'll come the next day. So supply chain on point. But then really it all started with this idea of a transparent wallet. This is, I know I sticker bombed it, but it was originally a transparent wallet and it still is. But I was like, oh, you could sticker bomb it. You could put a bunch of stickers on it. And obviously I put the Table Moments logo on there. I just joined a makerspace and they have a vinyl cutter, so I'll be able to make more of these. And I think when I originally launched this on TikTok Shop, people were like, oh, that's too expensive. Because I set it at $14.97 because I timed to myself. It took 8 minutes to actually cut this out by hand. And I was like, all right, the only way it makes sense monetarily of my time is if I set it at $14.97, which I was hoping people would just use coupon codes, and some people did and got 5 sales. But a lot of people's like, oh, it's just saran wrap, it's just a plastic bag, it's just a sandwich bag. It's not. It's 4 mil polypropylene. But I think what I didn't demonstrate well is what you could do with it. And so sticker bombing, making it yours, putting your own artwork here. That's the cool stuff you can do. And you get cool stuff like this. You can do cool stuff. Like, it's very cool. And one of the criticisms people were saying in the comments were, it's too expensive, $14.97. And I get it. E-commerce is a tough business to make sense because at lower price points, there's all these fixed costs that have to be overcome. And so it really didn't make any sense for less than $14.97, especially considering TikTok required a tracking number, which means shipping is a minimum of $4, which means that leaves you $10 of profit, minus the cost of material is basically nothing, at least compared to the whole thing. But like taxes, TikTok's fees, packaging, all that. And so you're really left with about like $6, $5, something like that. And then that's per wallet. And then if it takes about 10 minutes to make, then there isn't really much money left over for like labor costs and stuff. And so that's why I set it for $14.97. But a lot of the comments were like, this like worth $5, $6. And I think they're right, but you can't sell it as a one-off item. But I was thinking it could be a cool companion. You buy this and you add this to your order for like $4, $5, something like that. And that actually improves the economics of this. Because again, fixed costs make all the difference at lower price points. So for every increase in order value that you can add to an order, increases the profit margins dramatically. And you wouldn't think so, but maybe I should make a video talking about the math of it. But It's like this weird, it's a weird financial model, but every, like, in fact, adding this is a decent profit margin, but then adding this to your order, which would be like $4, $5, would increase the profit, the actual money going into the business by like over about two times. It would double it essentially. And it doesn't make any sense because it's like you're not selling twice as much product. You're not doubling the selling price. But after all expenses are paid and all fixed costs are paid, what's left over is double. And so it's like, that's why if you really want to support a small business, buy their add-ons. That's all you have to do. You get a discount on some stuff because they usually include it as in the price of the thing, and they can include it as part of the package. So there's less shipping. There's no individual packaging that they have to deal with. And then on top of that, you're supporting the business. You're supporting the business much better. You get a cool, interesting product that maybe companions the one you already bought. It's a win-win for you and the seller. If people knew, they would do that. But that's what I'm experimenting with, and I just got access to a makerspace that will allow me to cut these out a lot faster, so then I can actually offer it at that price point. And I think it'd be cool. And then maybe even if it was like a passport holder or different currencies, or maybe add sticker packs. Let's say you're like traveling somewhere and you want a wallet, and maybe you don't want to bring your nice wallet, or you're going to be visiting all these places that give out stickers and stuff, then you could literally just add it as a catalog of your trip. Just post it. Oh, I just went to this restaurant. They gave me this. And I went to this country. I got this stamp from here. And then you basically make a collage, a sort of art piece of your travels. And then at the end of it, you just display it or something and you have it. I think that'd be pretty cool. And so it turns the wallet into an experience. And it's not necessarily for daily use. It's for logging an experience. And so that would be cool. And it would only be like $5 or something. So that'd be really cool. And and then create this whole new category. And because I've been working on the tracking information stuff, it might be useful for other businesses that sell things that can fit into an envelope. So I'm looking into that. But that's what I'm working on. Let's see, did I miss anything? Table Notes Wallet, talked about that a lot. No politics, cool. Pizza Science. In Romans 13. All right, let's add the guys from TikTok. And this is cool. Business is actually fun when you work on interesting stuff. That's what I'm noticing. Like all this like real estate and blah, 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 it's just boring. It's like, all right, so you bought this house and then you bought this other house and then you just sit on it and collect rent. That's your business? I don't know. This seems so boring to me. But I like this. I like figuring out hard problems, because this is a hard way to do business, by the way. Selling a low margin product or a low price product is hard because you got to get volume. But if you can pull it off, I feel like it makes every other form of business easier, because like at a higher price point, profit is easier. You don't have to worry about scale because you can make more with far fewer people. I mean, there's so many advantages. So if you're going to start business and you just want to make money, I wouldn't recommend doing some low price product. I wouldn't recommend it. It is a tough business. But if you can pull it off, it's crazy good, because you'll have the advantages of scale that no one else can compete with, but you have to get to that point, and that's a hard thing to do. And then you have to also make a pretty amazing product. I don't think this is amazing yet. Everyone who's used it hasn't had any complaints and they love it, but I think I can still improve it, and that's why I experiment. And I experimented. This is my daily right now. And with the corners, I got a bunch of these. And so it's going to be cool to offer it maybe as an add-on, or maybe even the standard part of every wallet. We'll see. But let's add the TikTok people. Let's go live here. Let's move you guys closer too. Let's move you here. Hey, everyone. And I'll be more prepared for these lives. I know. Wasn't that? I don't know. I feel like I got to take it to another level with this stuff, because I feel like it's still weak sauce. It should be better. Hey, everyone. I know it's Tuesday. What are you doing here on a Tuesday? I don't know. I'm trying to keep Sunday the Sabbath, Hey, everyone. Hey, Willow May. How's it going? Miércoles. That's is that Wednesday? Is that Wednesday? Thanks for the likes. Tamara, Kendall, what's up? How's it going? For those of you who don't know, my name is Ayman. I'm the host of the Table Moments podcast. We talk about anything and everything. And I just posted a video today that triggered a bunch of people. It's like, oh, yeah, whatever. I don't have to bring it up, but it's fine. I don't know why people take social media so seriously. You know, just like if I lose this tomorrow, I don't care. Screw TikTok. Screw all these platforms, man. They tease us with likes and views, and then once they get big, they like switch up. It's like, would you be in a relationship with somebody who was like that? No. But for whatever reason, we're like, oh, these platforms, they're all dicks. That's what I'm noticing. So, hey everyone. Lightning bolt? I don't know what that means, but thanks. Hey, what do you guys have on your mind? I have a few topics prepared, but I'll let you guys seed the conversation first if you guys have anything on your mind. Yeah, I know all of you are probably new. I have a no politics rule, but nowadays everyone wants to talk about Dre, but what about homelessness in New York City? In New York? Really? Who wants to talk about Dre? Is there something going on with Dre? I have no clue. Homelessness is a problem everywhere, I'm noticing. How do you solve it? One thing, can it even be solved is the question. And so we can go into that deep if you want. Who you vote for this election? I'm not voting. I don't think it's appropriate for me to vote because it would bias me. And I have sort of a platform now. So if I can't be objective, anyone who says they could be objective after voting is lying to you. And which is why the journalistic standard used to be journalists don't vote. They shouldn't vote, actually, because they have to be objective about a lot of the stuff that they're reporting. But, it's not going to stop these valueless fools from casting their ballot and then reporting as if they can be objective. It's like, screw all these people. It's like, I'm not a journalist, but I have standards here, okay, for myself. And I don't think it's appropriate for someone. Yeah, I have a voice here, and I don't think it's fair if I ever decide to talk about anything political or relevant to the world, having casted a vote puts you on one side automatically. And so it's hard to be objective. And so, I don't know, anyone with a platform, I don't think it's appropriate they vote. And one vote's not going to make the difference. So that's why I'm not too worried. Nuh-uh, damn. Yeah. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Or they love Kevy. I don't know. I'm just copying, pasting in random live streams. Yeah, no worries, dude. Dre, though. Homelessness is an interesting problem because there's an assumption a lot of us homed people, is that how you say it these days? We assume they want to be housed. And think about it, like, is that necessarily true? Of course, there are plenty of people who are just down on their luck, or they live in a place like LA where they get kicked out of their apartment. Those are definitely situations we can fix. But then there are some people who, I don't think they can be in a house. They can't have walls around them. They want to be free. And this is hard for normal people to understand. But hey, some people are about that nomad life. Or like the type of people who want to live in a tiny home. Those are different people, And so it's just like, what do they really want is the question. And if they don't want to be housed, then how are you going to impose it on them, Maybe, I don't know. Apple juice or orange juice? Apple juice for sure. I don't like citrus for whatever reason. Although I do like Diet Sprite every now and then. Is it bad to be biased? I think so. If you're going to be reporting something, if you're going to be you're claiming to be an objective source. Now, I mean, if you're an opinion employee at a news organization or whatever, then fine. You have your opinion, but like if you're supposed to just be reporting the facts and you're a beat reporter and you're supposed to just give the news, then yes, it does bias you. If you choose, especially when you're in politics, yeah, it does. And it's one of those subtle things that people don't even realize affects them. And there's some good books on persuasion that explain this, but we all have a natural in-group preference. This is why, or an affinity to things that we're a part of. This is true in the superficial sense, where Black people prefer being around other Black people. Same thing with all the other races. Or like people from a certain country of origin really prefer to affiliate with other people from that country. But it's also true in the associations that we choose for ourselves. So if you choose to vote Democrat and you vote for this particular candidate, then it is harder to be objective about it, for sure. Or it's easy to look at the other side as the enemy. And so this is the problem. It's like you can't be objective. And this is the problem you had with this is why fake news is a problem. This is why fake news happens, because it's like they can't even be objective about this stuff because they're so emotional, because they chose a side. And this is the problem. I don't know. And they don't care because it gets views and clicks, and that's all that matters in the end, I guess. So I do think it's bad to be biased if you're in a position where you're supposed to be objective. So I'm not saying other people, be biased. It's fine. You chose a side and you think it's right, that's cool. But if you have a platform or it's your job literally to share news, yeah, come on. How can you say, Kindness is needed, but we haven't been critical of journalists enough. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. Here's the thing. You know how fake the news really is when the news is about you or something you were a part of. And I've experienced this firsthand. So not to me personally, but to something I was a part of. And they framed it in a way that it wasn't. And I was just like, all right. I knew how fake the news really was. I didn't realize it was that fake. And it's one of those red pilling moments. But it's not fair that you don't have a voice to vote. I do have a voice. I can exercise it. I choose not to because I don't want to bias myself. That's why. Dropping uncomfortable facts on houselessness. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. That's the thing. I forget how uncomfortable some of the things I say are because I'm so free with everything I say. I'm not worried about being canceled. In fact, it's been a running joke on this podcast that I've been trying to get myself canceled for the last 3 years. Because I was like, my reasoning is you get canceled once, you can't get canceled again. So I'd rather it happen sooner on my terms when there's less to lose. So I'm free willy out here. If they wanted to change, they would. Yeah. You should go live somewhere that your viewers can speak their mind without being filtered. I've been filtered 6 times. Yeah, dude. I mean, eventually, yeah, like what? Rumble or something? Do people spend time on Rumble? I thought about Kick. I even signed up for a Kick account, but then I was like, I don't care to push gambling on young kids. I don't care to. Would you rather see Donald Trump oiled up or Joe Biden oiled up or Martin Luther King oiled up? Oh, man. 3 horrible choices, man. It would be funny to see Hillary Clinton oiled up and you'd be like, whoa, I didn't know she had red skin underneath. No, they're terrible choices, bro. Do you support Palestine? I don't support anyone in that conflict, bro. I don't. This thing's been going on for too long. I think everyone gets roped into this stuff who have no business being in it. So that's how I feel. And I know that usually Palestinians have a harder time accepting that than I think Israelis, which I don't know, isn't working in your favor because it's like if you expect to have allies, why would you treat them so poorly, Not saying that you're doing that, but I've noticed this. Like the shaming tactics come from the Palestine side more than the Israeli side. So it's interesting how that works out. So shaming tactics don't work on me, which is why I find it very, very off-putting when I see it. And shame is just like it's an external influence. So yeah, no, I don't mess with that at all. But it seems to work on a lot of people though. And here's the thing. I came up with the title of a video that I know would be too spicy if I made it for people, but basically the title is Cradle Games: How Dead Babies Are Used to Sell Wars. And I actually put together the thumbnail for this too, where it's like the Palestinian flag, the Israeli flag, like 50% transparency, and then underneath the Israeli flag, you have an Israeli mother with a kid in black and white. And then on the Palestinian side, you have a hijabi with her child, right? And then it's just like, yep, that's how they get us. They sell us on wars with dead babies. That's what they do. It's just like, why do people fall for this stuff all the time? All the time. But whatever. And all it does is result in more death. And I know people get emotional about picking sides or whatever. It's like this side, that side. Which, if you're directly involved, or you have family there, or you grew up there, or whatever, you have close personal ties. I get it. You got to pick a side, and you feel how you feel. Fine. But everyone who hasn't none of that, which is why, like, I don't understand why Black Americans would even choose a side on this stuff. It's like, what does this have to do with you, bro? Nothing. But whatever. People are free to get involved in whatever they want. I choose not to on this issue. It's how I feel. It's how I feel. And a lot of people have a hard time accepting that. But I'm sure you're cool, though, Hamza. How you doing, Jaden? Proud American, 17. Oh, you're 17. Dang. Yeah. How's the AI generating AI stuff, the AI art working for you, man? I just got some stencil vinyl. So I think I can actually move forward with this AI art project. The shoe idea. I have the shoes. I have some stencils. I even got access to a makerspace that has like a vinyl cutter, an automatic vinyl cutter. So I'm gonna be able to do some interesting stuff with that. And then now it's just, let me finish the script and shoot the video. For design purposes, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because like I even like the vinyl cutter. It's pretty cool with the stickers and stuff. So I was thinking like I could make a bunch of vinyl stickers and then just put it on this wallet here. And I think that'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. And it's funny because like when I first launched this wallet on TikTok, I think it's like at 800,000 views or something, with like 89,000 likes or whatever. It was just the price point didn't make sense. So I can actually use the plotter and the designer or the vinyl cutter to actually cut these out faster for me. Been AI generating images and using them for my TikToks too. That's a clean wallet. Yeah, these aren't even the good stickers. That's the crazy part. And I was thinking like your wallets don't have to just be something you use for years. They could be just the way you document something. And so like when you go, I might just make like when I go to different restaurants, I pick up stickers, put it on, and then that's the sticker, that's the wallet for that city. And then every time I go to a new city or something, or whenever I go travel, I can just add stickers to the wallet, and that's the travel wallet. And you don't have to worry about losing it or whatever. If you lose it, it's not a big deal because it was like $5, whatever. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's been interesting making this stuff. And e-commerce is interesting. I think I like it. It's just hard. It's just hard getting something and then getting people to buy it. And the first dollar is always the hardest, by the way. The first dollar. So if you can get it off the ground, just get your first sale, you're good. After that, it's just about scaling. I don't get why people support Palestine or Israel. Support your own country and go about your day. Yeah. I think a lot of Christians are getting into the whole Israeli side because it's like prophecy or something, or at least maybe they, obviously, because, Israel, the chosen people, all that's a recurring theme in the Bible. But at the same time, they're the ones who, I don't know, I still haven't quite figured out. I feel like I need to read a lot more of it before I can make a decision on the chosen people just yet. Not in a bad way, because technically the rest of us are Gentiles. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm with you on that though. Like America, yeah, don't get brainwashed. How? From reading the Bible? The Bible, I don't know. The Bible got all the answers, bro. It has all of them. It's crazy. Like even in weird aspects of your life, you don't even expect it to apply it, and it does. But it's hard to find the answers sometimes because you got to read it yourself. I'm not, I don't know. The prophecy and all that stuff is a weird stuff. I'm Christian. I go to church. Yeah. It is interesting. Like I've been, I heard someone say this. Maybe I saw it on a TikTok or something. But like through this process, you get transformed. Ramadan Mubarak. Oh, to you too, bro. I'm fasting for a different reason, but yeah. Shout out to all the Muslims out here fasting for Ramadan. I know it's Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. The water part is the hardest part, by the way. For those of you who don't know, Muslims fast during the month of Ramadan. They don't eat or drink from sunrise to sunset. And the eating part, that's not that hard. After like 3 days, 4 days, your body sort of adjusts. But the water part is brutal. Not being able to drink water. That is, even right now, it's the idea of it's making me thirsty. So I'm gonna drink some water. That's tough, man. I remember. Yeah, it's really hard, especially if you live like in a warm or hot climate. Like it is really hard not to go with water for a day, for basically like 14 hours or something. Kyrie Irving played a daytime game this weekend while fasting. That must have been tough. Dude, did he really? Oh man. I remember that whole Ramadan thing is bogus. It's not bogus, man. I remember when I was in high school, I was trying out for high school basketball freshman year, and it happened to be a summer. It happened to fall in the summer, and I was also fasting, and I was an observant Muslim. So they were making us do drills and tryouts for like a month, pretty much the entire length of Ramadan. I was going to school, and then after school in the hot Northern California summer, I was doing tryouts outdoors. It was outdoors because it's freshmen. Freshmen don't get access to the courts because that's reserved for JV and above. And so in the hot summer, just running and doing all these drills and practicing, and just like I couldn't drink water. And I was pretty humble with it too, because I didn't tell anybody. I was just like, this is something I'm choosing to do, and it doesn't make any sense for me to like complain about it. And I think it kind of defeats the purpose if you're just going to complain or try to get a way out of. Well, I don't know. That's up to you. But basically, yeah, did all that all through the month of Ramadan, just like, and then finally exhausted and dehydrated, would just like spend the nights just drinking and eating. Like it was brutal. But I didn't make the team that year, and my performance during trials probably suffered. And it wasn't until the last like 3 days of the trials that Ramadan had ended, but it was already too late. They couldn't bring me on the team. Yes, Islam says you're not supposed to do any activities differently than you normally would. Yeah, no special treatment just because you're fasting. Yeah, it's also true in the Bible too, or at least the way they describe it in the Bible is like you don't emphasize that you're fasting. Just come off as if you're fine and well fed. And because the point is, it's something you're doing personally for yourself, for God, or through God, or whatever. So that's it's tough. It's really tough if you live in a warm climate. I stay in my own Republican bubble and hang out with my people, with exceptions. I'm a narc. Okay, I don't understand that, but oh no, you're 17 though, so I feel like your social circle will grow as a Republican bubble. I don't know. That's the thing. Like maybe some people would classify me as Republican, but I vote Republican a lot, but I don't like to identify as Republican because they are the stupid party. You have the evil party and the stupid party. And I'd rather be, yeah, I don't want to be associated with the stupid party. And they're not, we can go into it, but that would be politics, and I don't know. Will you vote Republican this year? I don't think it's appropriate for me to vote anymore. I have a voice now, so it would bias me, and I care to be objective. And honestly, I've been out of politics for long enough that I don't care to be back in it. It attracts a certain type of person, and I know everyone gets really involved during election years like this one, but for me, it's just like you just get a bunch of negativity, and it's wholly unproductive typically. When people argue, especially you see this stuff on TikTok, it's like, I'm a Trump supporter. He has his MAGA hat in the back. Or like, yo, tell me why Donald Trump or Joe Biden is like the best president or the worst president, whatever. It's just like weak sauce. These creators cannot actually make original content about something interesting. So they go for the least common denominator, which happens to be, one of them is politics, another's fitness. Usually debates are weak sauce. Or the dating shows are even stupider, I think. That's just a personal thing for me, though. It's an election year, yeah. Well, every year is an election year, technically. But people don't care about elections that don't involve the presidency of the United States, Which I don't know if people even knew that. Yeah, there's elections every year, guys. Hey, Kirk, how's it going? Kirk, go. Politics is low-hanging fruit. It generates hits for sure. That's why I judge. I know I shouldn't judge. I shouldn't judge, but I do. It's just like, oh, these losers. They can't make anything outside. Here's the thing. Even the biggest names do this, okay? At the top. That's why Patrick Bet David and all them, they're doing politics now because it's low-hanging fruit. These people lack creativity. So they just go for the easy stuff. It's depressing, honestly, because it works for them. And I'm trying to do something different here. It's just like, what if we can make interesting stuff that's original, that's edifying, maybe even humorous at points, that's completely original. That's what I'm trying to do, or at least a large part original. I'm surprised I haven't gotten banned from my profile picture. What is it? I can't tell what it is. Yay 24. It's a funny thing you say that because I voted for Yay in 2020. Everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone always thinks I'm crazy until I'm right. And then everyone erases history as if like what I said wasn't true. Whatever. You know, this is why I've checked out of the whole politics stuff, because it's like it just invites misery and stupidity. Like, it's just like, you guys told me, you guys made fun. Dude, when I voted for Trump in 2016, do you know how people were clowning me? Everyone just looked at, those looks of like, dismissal people give you when you say something crazy or whatever, but you know it to be true, but they just don't know. And then now it's funny because like all the people who thought I was crazy back then are all like, you know what, maybe the orange man wasn't that bad. I was like, you're so late, whatever. The political commentators are grifters. They'll swing in whatever direction the money is. Facts, bro. Big facts. This is why it's just like, why do people fall for this? They do it every year, even because you could just go back. You can go to their older podcast episodes. You can just scroll down their timeline and see their older content. And you'd be like, wait, so you flip-flopped on that issue? None of them have values. None of them have convictions, Kanye, that's hilarious. That's hilarious until you realize there was a reason why I voted that way. Like I don't, Candace Owens is conservative, but she amplifies her views for the grift. Yeah, she always wins Grifty of the Year. Do you guys know about this? There's a whole like contest, and she is a multiple time Grifty winner for sure. She is king of the grifts, and she does it so well. And you know what? Man, the thing is with Candace, yeah, she's grifting, but she's identity politics for the right. She is. She doesn't move votes. You wear glasses for vision or what? Yeah, I do. My eyes aren't that bad though, but it does help me read stuff further away. And you proved him wrong and you voted for the right person? I don't know. I don't know if I ever vote for the right person. I just vote for purpose. Like the purpose in 2016 was to keep Hillary out because, she a pretty failed state or what do they call it? She was Secretary of State. Yeah, she was Secretary of State, kind of failed under Obama. I was like, all right. And then on top of that, the corruption, I was just like, nah, we can't. Vote for Trump in 2016 was a vote to keep her out. That's what it was for me. And I was pissed when I even remember the weekend that I decided I had to vote for 45. It wasn't like I saw what other people saw. I just knew it couldn't be her. Have you used the uncut money yet? I haven't. I still have it. DMs, yeah, are better. Strange how Bill was so cool, yet Hillary is so hated. No wonder he was a serial cheater. I wouldn't say it like that, bro, but yeah, I don't know. That's gotta suck. Pun intended. Yeah, it's depressing. And I don't know. There's a lot of things where people just ignore things because they're on the right side of the political aisle. And that's the part where it just like gets so depressing. Because it's like you realize none of these people have values or convictions or are willing to sacrifice anything for what they believe. It's like they'll say whatever. And everyone will speak so confidently about the path forward when nobody really knows. You don't know what will work or what won't. Which is why even like the whole party thing, Like back in the day, yeah, you could say one party's more right than the other, but in the end, like you don't know what will work as far as public policy until you try it. If you could try it small scale and see what happens, that would be the best course of action. A politician who says, you know, I don't know what's going to work. We're going to try a bunch of stuff. We're going to follow the laws of the country that currently exist, and anything that doesn't need to exist that are keeping us from building a better country or a better world, we'll get rid of, repeal those things. And that would be, I don't know if that's a message that would sell, but it would sell me. But whatever. Strange how Bill, yeah. And there's no way Bill was the first POTUS to get a BJ in the Oval. No way. Yeah, I agree with you, man. No way the first one. But you did it with I don't know. I'm sure even interns. But it's just dirty, bro. It's just dirty. It's like you can't, man, this historical place, and it's just dirty. That's the problem with it. It's just so dirty. There's going to be all this new tech and no security going to be new golden age of hacking. Yeah, dude. Like, isn't it true, like most electronics these days can easily be hacked if people care to? I don't think people understand how vulnerable their lives really are. But it's just like people just don't care to put the effort. So we're really protected by laziness, honestly. Let's use Florida as a trial state. The whole point of having states is so that we can do these trials. Like, that's the idea, the United States of America. We have all these states that can live independently, but they all speak the same language. They all use the same currency. They all allow travel and commerce between state lines. Like, it's like the European Union, except we all have a shared culture, a shared identity, a shared currency, and a shared language, which allows us to live differently but still operate within the same country. That's the whole idea behind the states, and which is why it's funny. Like, people are like, "Oh, we need to make things the law of the land and these like ubiquitous things." It's like, no. You're defeating the entire purpose of what they call federalism. That's the whole point. It's a beautiful design. And the problem is you can't really do it in Europe because they have different cultures, different languages, different currencies, and even different ways of behaving. And so they try to do what we have here, and it's failing. Yes, there is like no security in IoT. Yeah, it's crazy how vulnerable this stuff it really is. Let's see. Honestly, it doesn't get votes. People vote for what they want to hear, even if it's a lie. Yeah. I've noticed this is true even on social media. People will retweet, share stuff that they want to hear instead of what is actually true, which is how you can get guys like Derek Jackson blowing up out of nowhere, or not out of nowhere. It's just like feet. This is why, I don't know. I'm not trying to make this, you know what? Screw it. Women are more vulnerable to this kind of deception, and it's biblical. Genesis 3, guys. Genesis 3. I think piracy is going to make a huge comeback as streaming services get too greedy. Fair enough. I could see that being a thing too, for sure. Like, I don't know if these original content creators or content organizations realize not only are you competing with each other, you're competing with piracy. Think of it like competition. Yeah, is it right that people do it? No, but people are going to do it. And so, or now Amazon Prime throwing ads in Prime Video. Which, I mean, it's crazy that Prime Video is included with Prime, but it is what it is. All I need is a flash drive, a monitor, and a keyboard to blow some stuff up. And a Pi, of course, yeah. Yeah. Remember how big piracy was before streaming? Torrent files everywhere? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still a big thing. I'm not going to plug it here. I'm sure if you guys pirate stuff, you guys know where to find things. But, like, yeah. Here's the thing. Like, why would anyone pay for media it's just bad? None of this stuff is good anymore. I don't even bother watching new movies and shows. I just watch old ones. It's like I treat them like classics now. The entire appeal of Netflix and Spotify is that they were easier than piracy, for sure. For sure. And it's a shame. Here's the thing, my idea, like, it'd be cool if people could be funded directly by people so that they could make original content for you. So it's not something you could pirate because it's literally made by people out here who are just making content. It's kind of like YouTube. It's essentially YouTube, but like you fund it directly. And I know they have like subscription platforms or integrations in the platforms and stuff, but I was thinking, what if you can fund it directly? And I know they have Patreon, but Patreon's kind of difficult when you have to pay minimum $3 to each creator. And I talked about this idea last week. But I'm thinking that could be a more viable way. I've even met a guy who used to work in like the entertainment space. He came up with this really interesting idea for a show that I'm not going to reveal because I think it's a really good idea. But it would be cool if people could directly fund that show into production. And so it's like you're not beholden to like these streaming platforms like Prime and Netflix or even movie studios to actually greenlight a project. But in fact, it's just you guys doing it. I know they do stuff like this on Kickstarter, but it should be a regular thing. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, but that's hard if you want to do $100 million budget movie. I don't know. I mean, like $100 million. If you can get 1 million people to give you, no, yeah, that's a lot of. If you can get 10 million people to give you $100 or $10, why not? Would you fund a movie? Pre-sale, like a Kickstarter for $100 million. Here's also my theory about these big budget movies is there's a lot of waste. There's a lot of waste in the production of these things. If you don't use SAG actors, so Screen Guild, I think it's Screen Guild of America, whatever. They have like rate minimums and stuff, and everyone's part of a union and whatever, which makes it harder to just pay people on contract or be able to hire people for this kind of stuff. But then also, if you're very efficient and it's the right kind of story, maybe, you know, because there are indie movies that are able to make movies for a few million that are great movies. Like what's that movie? The one that's hella trippy. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Everything Everywhere All at Once. What was their budget? Everything Everywhere All at Once budget. 25 million. That one cost 25 million. And I think a lot of it was the VFX. So still pricey, but maybe more reasonable, you know? That's what I'm thinking. And that's a really good movie. Wonder if it's possible to get a dump from proxying a zone transfer to a DNS hosting a stream service. Wonder if it's possible to get a dump from proxying a zone transfer to DNS hosting a stream service. I think I only understand half of that, bro. But sure, I don't know. The 90s was a golden age of indie movies. Yeah. Rugrats in Paris. Yeah, bro. I never watched that movie. The Rugrats were fire, though. It's in Paris, the movie. Yeah. And plus with AI, maybe it makes it a lot easier to like do the VFX and get the shots you need, or maybe entirely made AI movies. Like, but here's the thing: it's not AI making the movie. It still needs a director. It needs someone who understands the story, some sort of writer who handles creative direction. But yeah, what if AI changes the game so it dramatically costs? You can dramatically reduce the cost of making episodes or a movie. What if that's possible? I think it'd be really cool. You know, everyone talks about wanting to write a book one day, blah, blah, blah. It's like, screw that. I want to shoot a movie one day. That would be so cool. Or a TV series or something. That would be really cool. I don't know what it would be, but like, screw books, man. I want to make a movie and then have it live on. Oh man, that'd be so cool. I don't know if I would want to be in it, but I think that'd be cool. Everyone wants to write a book, but movies are cooler. And people don't even read books like that anymore. So that's, you know. Wait, what was the Get Out budget? I feel like the Get Out budget wasn't that high either. Get Out budget. $4.5 million for Get Out, guys. See? What was Star Wars is a boring movie. Yeah, I said it. It could probably handle some of the CGI stuff for sure. Or like how what's that show, the Star Wars spinoff? The Mandalorian? The Mandalorian. It used Unity game engine. Yeah. You used a game engine to be able to shoot the background, so you didn't have to build entire sets. You could just display them in this like giant screen that was all like CGI generated. So that could be another way to dramatically reduce the cost of actually producing shows. Now it's mostly, I think the limitation is creativity. and compelling work. Not the technology, not actual the effort, but it's actually coming up with really interesting stories that resonate with people. Like The Matrix. What was The Matrix? The Matrix budget. 63 million. Dang, that's a lot. You know, Neo's basically Jesus. I was thinking about that. I also watched Tron Legacy recently, and that's also like a spin-off of the whole Jesus story. And I think iRobot might be too. And then you start realizing like, oh, the movies that resonate with people all have like sometimes typically have biblical ties to it. It's like, oh, okay. I actually have a book that explains like the anatomy of genres and how like all of them have these like different takes on humanity. Like a horror film is basically life and death, and then action is like about accomplishment and conquering, and then romance is about like love, learning to love someone else, or sacrificing yourself. And it's just like it's an interesting book. It's indoor mainly. Unreal 5 could probably be used at this point. I don't know. That is baller. Yeah. In fact, there's a guy I think who does like a AI generated avatar. So basically it motion captures him, his mouth, his hands, and then he displays himself as a mini Lego dude. And he streams like that. And I think he uses one of these game engines or something to do it. But yeah, that could be the future. But I was just like, do people really want to hear? I guess. I mean, you never know what's going to work with people. And that's the thing. That's why it's always worth trying new and interesting things, because you never know. And I'm actually reading this book. What's it called? Dang. It's in the other room. Dang, what's it? Rory Sutherland's book? Rory Sutherland books. It's called Alchemy. Alchemy. The surprising power of ideas that don't make sense. And what he's explaining in this book is that people have become hyper rational and thinking that you need to come up with a reason or explanation before you go test something out, which means you're ignoring the possibility of discovering something, which is also how like big creative discoveries happen, oftentimes by accident. And so by having to justify where you're going or your reasoning before you go and do something, you're really narrowing the creative space that you're giving yourself to move in. And so sometimes trying something just for the sake of trying it is worth it. In fact, I would say it's always worth it just because it's an interesting idea. Why not try it? You never know what's going to work. You never know. And sometimes the weird things work. And those weird things, because they're weird, have like asymmetric upsides. And so that's what can like help you discover something that no one else has, which gives you like a much larger potential in some things. So I've been reading that book because I've been selling these wallets, right? And so I was like, how do I sell these in an interesting way? Which I actually crossed a pretty interesting milestone of these recently, getting sales on the Shopify. So it's pretty cool. I need advice from an older man who was a former Muslim. I don't know if I can give you any advice, but feel free to ask your question. Maybe someone here can help. Facts got to dip. Peace. Peace to you, brother. Thanks for coming in on a Tuesday. I know this is weird for you guys. It's normally on a Sunday, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, don't restrict yourselves into here's the funny thing, like in businesses and even in corporations, like you have to justify what you're going to do before you go do it. When in reality, like the big discoveries that are like game changing can often be just weird ideas or happy accidents. And those things you will eliminate as a possibility by restricting to yourself to things that have reasons for pursuing. Who was a former Muslim, and that doesn't coexist with my faith, and says we can't date because not allowed. I don't know what to do. Wait, so from an older man who was a former Muslim. Wait, I'm confused. And that doesn't coexist with my faith and says we can't date because it's not allowed. I don't know what to do. Uh, I'm so confused about the situation you're bringing up. Could you like clarify? Like Muslim men are allowed to date. Well, there's no dating in Islam, technically. That's not going to stop a lot of Muslims from doing it, but there's no dating. But as far as getting married and stuff, Muslim men can marry Christian women. They're all over the book. And in fact, Islam doesn't have, like, they claim the Bible has been changed. It's like, okay. But they also, in certain, I think there's some surahs in there that say the Bible is the truth. And so it's like, there's a lot of relationships between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I found the perfect girl, but she's Muslim, and that doesn't coexist with my faith. Oh, dang. Is she perfect? Is there such a thing, guys? Fellas, put it in the chat. Is there such a thing as a perfect girl? Not to throw any shade to her, bro. I'm sure she's great, but it's not with your faith. So you're Christian and she's Muslim. That's gonna, I mean, is she willing? I don't know. Like, in my eyes, well, I'm in the moment. Yeah, I get it, bro. We've all been there. We've all been there. I guess technically we all have, but I think the issue might be more on her side. Like your faith, I don't know. I haven't talked with her. Okay. Yeah. I would definitely. Here's the thing. I know it's tough sometimes having these conversations in relationships because you don't want to mess it up and you enjoy what it is right now. But it gets worse the longer you put it off. Or if you never confront it and then you get too serious, it hurts even more when it breaks up because of that. So it's better, unfortunately, and you probably don't want to hear it, but it's better to confront the issue head on. But it turns out it's like sometimes the anticipation can be worse than what actually happens because you'll hear from her perspective. Like she could be Muslim, but how strong is her faith? Is it something that's, because who knows? Maybe this is like, I don't care to like put ideas out here, but who knows? Maybe this is you bringing her to Christianity, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you convert too. Here's the thing. I don't believe in converting for somebody because then it's not really a relationship with God that you're establishing. You're just doing it for the other person, which I'm sure people are going to say about me and my fiance, right? But I came to the faith despite her, not because of it. Well, that doesn't even frame it the right way. I was coming to the faith already, and she is also Christian, but she was always raised Christian, and it wasn't actually, I don't know. It's hard to explain, and I know a lot of people are going to make that assumption like it's because of her, but it's not. She was a guiding force in when I made that transition for sure, and she's indispensable in that fact. But she's not the reason, and I think she knows that. But yeah, I would say it's worth having that discussion about your faith, her faith, how this can be compatible. I mean, here's the thing. Like I heard the war within, I think I've mentioned him a couple of times on these live streams, the underscore war underscore within. He had one of these videos where he was explaining like marriage is a tough thing for people who aren't in alignment with God, specifically in the faith, Christianity and stuff. And like you are doomed to have a miserable marriage. And unless you, people live in the faith, right? And so that's what you're signing up for, essentially, is what he was explaining. Like, if you guys are not in alignment here, it's going to be a miserable marriage for both of you. And I don't recommend that for anybody. But it's also a decision you choose to participate in. So, yeah. So I would say have that discussion, man. Have that discussion. And your faith sounds like it's a really important thing in your life. And if you're going to involve her in it, and I don't know, if you guys are dating and she's Muslim, I don't know, maybe she's not so firm in, because like Muslims shouldn't be dating like that. Like in Islam, it's not a thing. So it depends on the type of, I don't know. I'm not trying to make any judgments here. So if I talk with her and she says no, she's going to stay Muslim, should I stop with her? That's up to you, man. That's up to you. I'm not going to make any decisions for you, but just understand it's not going to be easy. Like there are some certain things, there are differences between Christianity and Islam. Like, could it be? Yeah, I've heard of people who were on either side, and they're together and they celebrate Eid and Ramadan, but they also celebrate Christmas. And it's just like, okay, somehow works for them. I'm not saying it's a common thing, and I can't tell you whether or not it's going to work out. Pray, I guess, and seek guidance from people who maybe if you could find someone who's actually had that experience and how it went. But I can also see it as a point of conflict for people. So it's up to you, man. She said, we're not officially dating because she doesn't want her mom to find out. Yeesh. All right, that's not even a good sign either, bro. She's hiding your relationship? I don't know, man. That's a tough one, dude. Like, do you have, I'm not saying go with a different girl, but is this coming from like there are no other options, or are there other girls and this is the one you want? Because that's a different thing. Law, because it's not allowed. Yeah, it's not allowed. Yeah. TikTok just asked me if this live is appropriate. What should I do? Say it's appropriate, obviously. This the one I want? Yes. Yeah. You know, whenever you start talking about certain things, this is why I don't really trust these platforms too much. It's like they always do this like lightweight shadow banning stuff. I don't even know if it's true, if that's something that they do, but I mean, I think a couple of weeks ago I was banned from TikTok Live, so it is what it is. Happens sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. I can't guide you in this, man. This is a personal decision for you, bro. And I know it's a tough one too, because yeah, you probably really like her, dude. But also be careful for both of your sakes. For both of your sakes. And if she's keeping it secret from her family, I don't know. That's not. I don't know if that's sustainable. But yeah, we'll see though. Yeah, let me know how it goes, man. That's a tough one, dude. Like, I guess I was in that situation technically, just a few months ago, but you know, I converted, so I don't have that problem anymore. I have different problems, but it is what it is. Like one thing I've been really struggling with is Romans 13. You know, the whole like, the government's there, God ordained them, and you're supposed to obey laws and all that stuff, and I have a rebellious spirit. And so that's the thing I've been trying to like square up lately. It's just like, all right, there's certain things I know I move in certain ways, and you know, the book is saying to be a different way, and it's just like, all right, whatever. This is a tough thing. It's a tough thing. Like some internal battles going on with me. So I'm not even in a position to give you any advice, bro. Sorry. Like, but just maybe this can serve as a warning. Like, be careful. Yeah, because like the law of the Aztecs would be to let them sacrifice you. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I guess there are some caveats with Romans 13. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to obey the government and stuff, but if it goes against God's word, then you don't. You're supposed to resist. The part I'm a little confused about is local customs or cultural customs, whether those apply or not. And those are a choice as far as I understand, but maybe they're not, and I don't know. And so that's what I've been wrestling with lately. Like, just because everyone does things a certain way and I have a choice not to do it, does that mean it, but it's not technically against God's word or any of his commands. So is it rebellious to not participate in those things that people normally do? Or is it your freedom to choose? And it's just like, it's not a compulsion. It's not that mandate. Like taxes are mandated. Like you have to pay your taxes. You have to follow the law when you're driving on the roads. But then there's other things where it's just like, it's a choice whether or not you want to participate in certain things for certain privileges. But do you necessarily want them? And do you want the social or obligatory price you have to pay for being a part of it? And that's the part I've been wrestling with. It's like, do local customary things qualify as rejecting customary things as rebellion in the context of Romans 13? And I don't know. I've been looking for an answer for that for a while now, last few days. And It's been a little, it's been hard. It's been hard. It's not very peaceful in my head or heart lately, but yeah, it is what it is. That's the life, right? That's the life. It's what I signed up for. So, yeah, I have no advice. The Bible is hard to interpret the real definition of it. Yeah, I think it's like the way I heard it described is like reading it, but then also the companion of prayer. And yeah, lately I've been praying for some answers, man, because I am very uncertain about some things. And it's just like, what? I don't know. And then obviously timing is timing, so you can't really influence. I don't know. I have this discussion with my girl sometimes, like about timing, and I still don't quite understand it either. And so it's just like I'm so new with all this stuff that I don't even know what I'm doing. But I mean, that's been true with everything I've been ever done. All this stuff is new for me. And it's just like, I just live in this constant state of being a novice at everything. And that's just life. That's been my life, like constantly figuring it out. Two send? I don't know what you mean, Tomahawk 2K. You got to learn? Yeah, I got to learn. I got a lot to learn. A lot to learn. In so many aspects of my life. It's crazy, bro. I know overnight, once it all starts coming together and I figure it all out, I won't even care. That's the thing. Like, I don't really dwell in the success or the wins because they only last for like a minute and then I just move on to the next thing. Have you heard about the Ryan Garcia stuff yet? No. Did you mention it last week? No, I haven't looked into it. But yeah, it's just like the wins feel great when it happens, but like after that, it's just on to the next thing, man. I know, like I don't know. He's a boxer, right? Ryan Garcia summary. Let's see. What is he saying? What did he say? There you go. He wanted a lot of depression. Okay. That was a typo. Meant to say second. Oh, okay. Yeah, the recent stuff has been happening. He says, I will not be speaking or tweeting or writing anything other than my fight, boxing, and sports. All topics, discussions will be discussed after my fight. 5 weeks of focus. You have my word. I'm locked in. I'll see you 4 to 20. What's he? All right. Spiral? Okay. What happened? The viral video of him crying blasts well-known journalist for shorting. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know why people think video means. I don't know. I don't think people understand how easy it is to manipulate video clips. Because I edit my own videos. I know exactly how to make myself sound more punchy. I know how to make myself sound more graceful and accepting. All through the edit, not actually through the recording process, but actually just through the way I cut it. So I know. That's not it. He's been exposing the industry. He was silenced. He was exposing the elites. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think the elites are just idiots. So it's just like, it's not that they're mad geniuses. It's that they're stupid, that they think they can predict, I don't know, and govern. Like all the people in Davos, they say, just like, they're all idiots, man. And they don't know that they're idiots. That's the hard, I don't know. The American had an outburst when he saw a shortened clip of him crying from his TikTok live, projected in a different context. He's grown wary of recent claims about degrading mental health and issued clarification regarding a viral clip posted by famed journalists. Praise Jesus, those who know the Holy Spirit will make a grown man cry. You shortened the video. I was worshiping God on my TikTok with my community. I love God, and you titled this as if I was crying due to mental instability. Yeah, journalists do this stuff all the time. They have no morals, guys. Mental health struggles. He's a boxer, though. I mean, it's no surprise he has mental health struggles. He really gets punched in the face for a living. Like, why would... He said he was a part of a ritual where they sacrificed kids in front of him, and he was forced to... He said he has proof of it, too. All right. Well, when we see it, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I always, whenever I see people call other people out, like on the Shay Shay podcast, a lot of people have been doing that lately. You got the Cat Williams, you got the recently this guy from Get Out who was on there talking about how it really is in the industry or whatever. And it's just like they never mention names. They don't name names, and that's the part that just kind of like, what's the point of saying all this if you're not gonna like blast these people? I get it. You got to work with them and you don't want to get rid of any opportunities. But like, if they're that bad, they deserve to be outed, man. I don't know. I don't get it. Like all this like deception on the part of the people who were victims in these scenarios. It's just like, what? I don't know. Am I crazy? He said he has proof. Do you have TikTok? Yeah, I do. That's what you're on right now. He says his family is being threatened by them. Yeah, I can see that. Here's the thing about like all this social media stuff. Like you will attract 99% of people, 99.99% of people are fine. Most they'll leave you. Yeah, they'll give you some hate. They'll give you some smoke on social media, but otherwise they're fine. It's that like fraction of 1% of people who are crazy, and they will be obsessive. They'll try to ruin your life. It's like you got to be careful with this content stuff, which is why, like, I think journalists know that this is the power they have in the way they frame people. And so when they paint someone in negative light, like Martin Shkreli, Pharma Bro, and the way a lot of fake news from that one, and the threats he got because of it. And then they pretend like, oh no, we're just doing our job, even though they completely fabricate content or publish lies. That's what they end up doing. They know they're ruining lives and they don't care. They don't care. And so it's like, that's why I even have rules about this kind of stuff. Like on social media, I'll never show you guys my girl. Never. No, not willingly at least. Because the internet's not a safe place for, yeah, it's crazy. And I recently just watched, I guess this guy, Demolition Ranch on YouTube, his wife decided she's not going to be in their videos anymore. For this basically same reason. You get stalkers and obsessive people who come to like, I can see it being very scary. And so that's the thing to be wary of, which is why I'm like, that's why I also think it's inappropriate for people to be sharing their wives or their kids on social media who aren't part of this game. Or if you're a wife, don't bring your husband into this. Like if they're not part of this, you have to understand what you're being a part of when you post your stuff online. I know this is going to cost me, not in just like job opportunities, whatever, which I'm not worried about at all, but in terms of like exposure. Putting yourself out here makes you a target. And the only way to be safe is not to put yourself out here at all. But that's a personal decision. Mr. Beast now has the most popular channel on YouTube. I would hope so, since YouTube, if you open an incognito window on YouTube, you're going to see one of his videos suggested. You don't even have to be logged in to get suggested one of his videos. It's no surprise. 400,000 kids go missing in the U.S. every year. He's claiming the elites are the ones responsible for that. I mean, 800,000 kids every year are deleted. So, yeah. Yeah, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, they get deleted. If you know what I mean. Before they get to breathe their first breath. If you know what I mean. Hot take, I don't like people that say Bev. What does Bev mean? Am I missing something here? At Jaden wanna Bev Jaden. We got Coke, Sprite, water, any Bev you want, Jaden. You know, why do you guys always like cause each other problems? True, people who post their spouse are dumb. Why are you on incognito? So I can see what it's like on default. Duh. Why wouldn't you be? You know, like the cookies, the browsing, the browser tracking stuff. I log into multiple accounts all the time just to see things. Because I have Table Moments, I have the company account that I have, but then also I just want to be able to check things without the filter of the content stuff. But also, or even when you check pricing information of things, you know your cookies, if you get, they use tracking to bias pricing against you. You realize that, right? Sometimes, or just to I don't know. I test it all the time. Deleted say in GTA after. What's what's good? Yo, Jose, what's good, bro? What's good? It's been a minute. Interesting. I don't know if that's true. I'm never not on incognito. For a privacy reason, that's good enough to be on incognito if you don't want to be tracked across the internet. Yo, let me open my wallet on live. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. You going to do it right now? Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. I'm going to have to unplug the mic, though. You guys cool with that? I'm going to have to unplug this mic so I can actually hear Jose. And then I'll put the microphone for YouTube on YouTube. I got this microphone here. But yeah, did you just get it? Let me know if you just got it. I will. Yeah, it'd be cool to have a convo right now. We should schedule this. It'd be cool to do it at least once a week or something. But yeah, let me know if you're ready. You're gonna unbox it. Yeah, the guy. Well, guess what color he requested. But yeah. Oh, okay. Let me do it. Let me unplug this microphone. First of all, can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. Add guess. Connecting. Cool. Yo. Hey.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. All right. Orange. I don't have an orange, unfortunately. I don't have an orange. I've been experimenting with so many different fabrics, guys. Like, so far I haven't found anything superior to this. Cause like I have another fabric, but the weave is different. So it feels different. And so it's like it's more floppy and I don't like it. I like the firmness and the tightness of this one. So that's what I've been doing. I got red. My red one's holding up. Good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Orange is my favorite color. Yeah. Mine's folding and it's damaged though. Yeah, I might have to send you an updated version. Because I think when I sent it to you, I made some improvements since the one I sent you. So I'll send you an updated one. Maybe I'll send you a black one because it's more like rigid. And then let me know if you want some sort of like design on it too. Maybe I'll incorporate it. I just got access to a makerspace that has like a vinyl cutter. So I can actually print some interesting stuff. So that'd be cool. I think he's getting some stuff ready or whatever. So we'll see. Yeah, where'd he go? He's coming. He's coming. Hopefully. He's gonna do an unboxing live on. This is cool. I should just plug this stuff right now. And business has been decent. It's been decent. Facebook ads are working, which is funny because like I'm getting my own ads and I'm seeing it now. So it's funny. RIP Tupac, just found out he died yesterday. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. Like when you start something new, it's all like new and foreign and you're just going to fail a lot and that's fine. Cause then eventually you'll figure it out. So we're at like 56 sales so far, logged on Shopify, over $1,000 made. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Growing 30% month on month. This is with missing a few weeks and yeah. I was joking, but seriously thought Kobe was alive and Michael Jackson was alive. Yeah. They take all the, yeah. I was thinking like, it could be interesting to make celebrity themed. I don't know if you guys seen this artist on TikTok who like makes portraits of, he calls it the number series, where he chooses a number of a sports athlete or like, makes a painting dedicated to an athlete. So he'll do like the number 8 for Kobe, number 24 for Kobe, and then just make an art piece, or like number 23 is Jordan, and he does a whole thing with the number 23 being the center focus of it all. So I might have to do that with these wallets. Hey Asia, beautiful Black King, I appreciate it. What's the astrological sign that you have in your bio? It's not 69, is it? It can't be what I think it is. I think I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know these symbols. I know that Aquarius is the wave. That's all I know. But let's see. Come on. What? Now TikTok like tries to verify that you're actually there because I guess people are just, oh, you're an Aquarius? Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. Or a Capricorn. I'm like on the cusp. Jose dipped? Yeah, he dipped. I don't know what's going on. I unplugged the mic for him, bro. That's cold. Let me see if I plug the mic back in. If let me know if the audio cuts out. Can you hear me now? Jose did dip. It's like, man, I'm trying to like go live with you, bro. Crazy how disrespectful that is. Audio got worse? For real? Okay, let me stay unplugged then. I'll stay unplugged. I thought this audio would be better because I have the microphone here. But whatever. That's fine. That's fine. It's not. He's a friend. Jose's a friend. He's been on the podcast before, and we've known each other for a while. And unfortunately, he got his other account banned a while back. So it is what it is. Hey, brother. How's it going? I don't know. I can't read Arabic, so I can't read it. But yeah. Yeah, Jose's cool. He's not Argentinian. He's Guatemalan. But I always confuse it with Argentina because of the flag that he has in his bio, which is very similar. They're very similar. And it's a running joke. I keep calling him Argentinian. Shout out to Suarez, the handball, to say everybody knows that. I bet is Suarez Argentinian? Here, let me check. Suarez, Argentina. Yeah. Is it Suarez? No, it's not Suarez, is it? Handball. Luis Suarez. Yeah, Suarez. Hey, Lucille. How's it going? Nah, he's Uruguay. Oh, Uruguay. Never mind. Yeah, I got the countries wrong. You know, I feel like one of those people who always like confuses all these different countries together. It's like, that's how I am with like South American countries. It's like, yeah, whatever. Messi is on. Okay, yeah. You were formerly Messi the GOAT, right? So, what do you guys have in your mind? I'm answering questions. I have some topics prepared, but I like to free ball it every now and then. So, what do you guys have in your mind? Let's see if I can solve any of your problems today. I am Black Phillip. You guys know the show? Man, I miss Patrice O'Neal. That's crazy. Well, man, all the greats we lost. I still got 3 Messi jerseys hanging up around my room, though. Really? Would you give up? I don't know. Do you have any Messi the GOAT? Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any Miami jerseys? Or would that just be like ick? Because it's like MLS football. Thanks for the likes, Lucille. Nah, it's the only one I don't have. Yeah, it's a kind of a flex. I think it would match. Oh, you want one? For sure. Would you hang a Table Moments jersey? I was thinking about making one, a jersey. And once this podcast has a bunch of sponsors or whatever, we put it all over with Table Moments in the center. Yeah, I was thinking a black jersey with a collar of like purple, green, red, and blue to represent the faces in the corner. You got an NPC. All right, cool. Because I'm thinking about I could work on it, and I can maybe even make one myself now that I have access to this maker space. And it'd be cool to just like make a jersey. And I don't know if I would sell it, but I definitely would want one for myself too. Inspired by the Formula One team kits, except maybe a mix between a football jersey or a soccer jersey and a Formula One jersey, but with like sponsors on the sleeves and all that. I don't know if it would have a number. I don't know what number would represent Table Moments. Maybe I'll just leave that blank. Yeah, that would work for sure. I think that'd be cool to build. What happened to Jose though? Man, I was really looking forward to that, man. That's a shame. Indian soccer teams have a shit ton of sponsors. Do they really? Or it's like cricket teams? Indian soccer jersey. Images. Sponsors. Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be cool. At least the ones I've seen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be cool to have that bunch of sponsors. But then they're all just sponsors I've worked with directly or indirectly, or people who've come on the podcast and whatever they're plugging and their thing. That'd be cool to just have on a t-shirt. And yeah, I'll totally rock that. Man, it'd be cool. And the cool thing is like the makerspace I have has a sublimation printer. And so I can possibly like make the whole thing, at least a prototype. Bro, we still haven't made the new genre. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. I have all these like ideas and I'm just like, that's the thing with something like that. I don't know. I've been thinking about it too. It's like in the back of my mind. I have all these things that are in the back of my mind. I haven't, yeah. Mayas Bay. How's it going? How are you doing? We're talking about anything right now. Once you get to it, let me know. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's like I got so many things. And right now I'm working on the e-commerce stuff, which I know it's slow right now, but like it's actually working, which is crazy. It's actually working. So I'm working on an app right now. Once you get through all the other stuff you're working on, yeah, for sure, dude. Like that's the dream, bro. Like getting this to a point where it's sustainable, or at least this stuff makes it sustainable, and then I can actually fund these bigger projects. I'm good. How about you? I'm good. Yeah, an app, a Shopify app to help me generate the packaging for these wallets I sell. I get the orders from Shopify, but right now I have to like copy the recipient's name and address, put it into this envelope template, and then I have to generate this intelligent mail barcode system from USPS to include there so that I could track the package without actually increasing the price of the product or charging my customer for it. And then I then print it. Instead, I want it all automated where I click a button and it automatically generates the email or the envelope template and I could just hit print. That's what I want to do. Right now, it's a bunch of copying and pasting. It makes it a lot. And it would be a cool service for other people who sell like other items that fit into an envelope like this. Yeah, it would be the best because we would need to pay producers. Yeah, for sure. Or incentivize people. That's the thing with something like this. Like there's going to be a lot of upfront work before there's any like return on it. Not that there has to be a return, but like in order for people to adopt a new genre of music, that's going to be a lot of like promotion required. And so the first step to that is having a lot of content prepared, ready to go. So I'm thinking like might need 6 months to a year's worth of content, maybe a song a week. So you're going to need at least 52 songs. Then you're going to have to build the socials, or maybe even I would just piggyback off of Table Moments, which already has a decent following. So maybe I would share it. But like, that's the thing. This isn't really that focused. So it's hard to attract the right people, you know? What are we talking about? A new genre of music called Inspirecore, where it takes podcast clips and then it puts it on some dope instrumentals. And this is a project idea Asher and I have been discussing about for a while, but thinking about what it would take to actually launch it. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, John, but then we're also talking about like e-commerce, which I'm getting into right now. We even talked a little bit about religion and politics too, which I try to avoid the politics talk. But yeah, feel free. Podcast over music? No, this would be a combination, podcasts and music. So you take highlights or from a podcast and you put it on some it doesn't necessarily have to be inspirational. Maybe like think, what do they call that genre of music? Basically lo-fi or something, or hi-fi or whatever, electronic music or instrumental music. And then it becomes like, instead of a song that's sung, it's speech that has music behind it. And you see this on social media every now and then. I don't know if you see it on your feed, but people do this with podcast clips. But what if it was an entire genre of music where it's like a full-length song, but it's with podcast clips? And I experimented. I actually put something together. Let me see if I can play it. I could play it for you guys if you guys want. Logic. If you guys want to, no, not sad. It would be like inspirational. Well, like I experimented with this. I took one of Andrew Tate's clips and from the Fresh and Fit podcast and put it on some instrumentals beat producer gave me, and it hits. I know how you, whether or not you like Andrew Tate or not, it just it works. It works. So I was thinking like maybe that could be a whole genre of music, and it's not just whatever. If you guys want to hear it, I could play it. It's not Sunday. I know. I switched to Tuesdays, man, because I was like, Sunday's the holy day. So I switched. Originally, it was Monday, and then I was like, Mondays are kind of dry, and it's like, I don't know. Sundays were cool too, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of everyone staying up before the work week. So probably happy ones, yeah, for sure. Like inspirational ones, right? That's why and it was Asher who came up with the name for this genre of music, Inspirecore. What's the monetary gain from doing something like that? That's not the focus of it. It's just creating a new genre of music. like, like if it makes money, cool. It's a great way to promote podcasts too, because like, oh, who is this guy? Whose voice is this? And maybe you can monetize it that way. But I don't. Monetization is always the last thing on my list of reasons to do anything. So like, I'm not the guy to talk to about that kind of stuff. Like, I think you can figure out a way to monetize things once you figure out how to make the thing exist. For a lot of people, unless you can figure out how to make money first, it's not worth doing, which I'm just like, oh no, I don't know. That's not a mindset I really mess with at all though. For me, it's the first thing. Yeah. You know, you're necessary because money people like you are necessary to make any business work. But like to make something new often means, which is unfamiliar to most people, which has never existed before, usually takes a lot of like sacrifice in time, effort, and money before you ever see it recouped, which is how a lot of startups actually start. They don't know how it's going to work, how the money is going to be made, but they have this idea or some thesis about the world, about how it should work, and they will figure out the money later on. And that's been my approach for anything I work on. Like, so yeah. Hey, from Texas. I'm from Texas too. Where in Texas are you? I'm in Austin, Angel. I'm in Austin. Rapullo's pizza is awesome. I think that's how you say it. Look at my likes if you need a laugh. Why? Why would that make people laugh? Why would that make people laugh? In Dallas? Oh, are you a Habesha? All the Habeshas are in Dallas, guys. All of them. Yeah. But I'm actually from Atlanta. Okay. It's interesting that you are from Atlanta, okay? Because like I'm actually talking to somebody who's thinking about taking a trip to Atlanta. Give me the down low on Atlanta. Why do they call it Hotlanta? Is it because it's hot or is it because it's nasty? Which one is it? Or are there things people don't know about Atlanta that they should before visiting? Because I don't know. I just know Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry built a movie studio there or something. But that's already a bad sign. That's a big L right there for sure. So I don't know. I don't know much about Atlanta, but I'm not. Feel free to correct me. No, it's because people are fine. What? They call it Hotlanta because people there are attractive? What? Nah, that can't be it. Is that true? I don't know. Why is it called Hotlanta? And what? Yeah. Hot summers and more familiar in the pop culture milieus? What? That doesn't make any sense. Practically no one calls it Hotlanta or ATL anymore. Local slang in Georgia, and it's popularized by an instrumental piece from the Allman Brothers Band. Okay. Because they breathe, their breath is hot over there. See, I could believe that. That makes sense to me, for sure. So, what brought you to Dallas, though? And why would you make the move from one southern state to another southern state. Like, I feel like if you're gonna make a move, you switch. You at least move a few latitudes. You know, I feel like that's what, because you don't get to experience anything. Like I used to live in Northern California. I moved to the East Coast, upstate New York. Um, Moved back to California, and now I'm in Texas, living that southern life. It has its pros, it has its cons for sure. But yeah, I'm in the bluest city in Texas, but still, there's a lot of things about this place that you know, are Texas through and through. Uh, yeah. Why do they call Atlanta Hotlanta? City's hot. High temperatures combined with this vibrant music and cultural scene led to the nickname Hotlanta as a way to capture the city's energy and heat. Yeah. All right. What do you guys have in your mind? I could just keep going, but if you guys got anything on your mind, feel free to put it in the chat. Like so far, I've been spending a lot of my time. Give us general life advice about what I can talk about e-commerce right now. I just all I can talk about right now is the things I'm exploring. Like starting creating new things in the world is tough. But if you want to do it, like understand the beginning's always the slowest. It's also the hardest in the beginning. That's what I've noticed with everything I've done. Like, and that's what keeps people from getting started, I think, because maybe people deep down understand how hard it is or realize how little they know. And so they don't even bother. They just keep procrastinating. And I'm in that position all the time. Like, I've been thinking about making long form YouTube videos for a long time. It usually takes me 6 months of thinking about it before I actually get frustrated with myself and I start. I just started out of frustration and then it's just like a snowball and it just like accelerates. I was thinking about that when I first started writing scripts for these videos that I post. And now like I have like over 70 pages of scripts. I've done it a ton of times. Those videos have gotten millions of views. But I should have started 6 months before I even thought. I should have started 6 months. It took me 6 months of thinking about it before I actually started. And so it's just like taking that first step is so hard. But once you do, it's like, I don't know, whatever mental hangups get relieved. And then you're just like, at least that's how it's been working for me. So for a while, like I was putting off like actually selling these wallets and stuff. Just crossed $1,000 in revenue so far in the last couple of months, growing 30% monthly. Still testing creatives and stuff, but like for a longest time, I had this idea and I never actually went forward with it until I actually decided to take that step and make the first sale. And now it's like it's a really good product now. But it took time to get here to actually improve the packaging, to get even making slight modifications to the design to get it exactly how I like. And then also making sure I can make these consistently so everyone gets a delivered product as expected. Momentum is tough. It is tough. I've been trying to start a TikTok project for like 2 months, made the account, got the content ready, but never bothered to edit them. Yeah. Editing's the hardest part, by the way. I don't know if people understand, like, that 1 minute video that you see, there was probably like at least 3 to 4 minutes of footage that was shot for that. If it's usually that's how it works out. Like 70% of the footage that is recorded never gets used in the final piece. And then also how long it takes. So if it's like a 1 minute long video, it takes about 2 minutes. You double the time to make an edit. So for like these 1 minute videos that I make, it takes about 2 minutes to make an edit, one pass. So that's a single edit, but you have to do that multiple times to catch things on each one. And maybe on each pass, you do something different. So on the first pass, I always do a rough cut. On the second pass, I will make editorial decisions where I pick which pieces of that I want to keep. And then the third pass, I actually add the J and L cuts to make sure the pacing is right and then make adjustments there. That's after I've already done color correction or the white balance and the audio, which I've already automated and stuff. So That's that edit. And then finally I export that and then I add the captions. And so like by the time I'm done editing, it's like 30 minutes to an hour for editing a 1 minute video. I don't think people understand the effort that goes into this stuff, but yeah, it's just, that's how it works. That's how it works. So if you want to know how long it's going to take you to make a single edit, double the time of the finished content or double the time of your raw content. So if you've recorded an hour's worth of podcast footage or something, it's going to take you 2 hours to get through for the first pass. But in that first pass through the rough edit, you're going to cut a lot of it out. And then even more so on the second pass. And then finally the finishing pass. I usually do about 3. And then after I edit and publish and it's online, then I listen to it. I listen to it just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and also as a form of quality control to see how I can improve for the next one. A lot of effort just to make some content, you know? So, but yeah. Well, what are you thinking about? What type of content are you making? I literally made a Python script for automating the captions and uploading them to CapCut. It took 10 days. Does it work? How accurate is it? Uploading them to CapCut? Okay. That's cool. Yeah. And okay. Are you able to make edits after it produces those, or does it burn in the captions into the video? Python script. Interesting. It makes an SRT file? Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. That's a great way to automate it. And syncs with the video. Cool. Python script. That's a good idea. So why haven't you posted it? Or you still have to edit the video itself? You know what? Maybe that is the way to do it. Do you add captions first and then, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work with the frames, but hey, if it works for you, cool. Like the only reason I do the captions after is because Final Cut doesn't include built-in captions. Well, it does, but it doesn't do auto captions. So I just import it into Descript. There is this Final Cut add-on captionator, but it's like this whole circuitous process of like making it work, and I can't get the captions right. And I make like even small details of like how many words to keep on and where to put the words and everything. Those are all slight changes I make in Descript, which I hate that it's so manual because it is slow. I tried using one of these AI tools to like take one of my YouTube podcasts and make a bunch of clips, but I noticed it actually edits them misordered. It actually takes different clips from different parts of the video and can generate a new clip, which I'm not sure if that's appropriate because it's changing the content, because it's changing the context of those things that are said in that video. If it takes a bunch of clips and puts it together as a new clip, you know, because those words were never said in that sequence as in the podcast, but the AI generates it that way. Extra editing. I tried uploading the videos to YouTube and getting the auto caption SRT files from YouTube, but the timing with that is off. Yeah. Hey Maya, how's it going? I did experiment with like Google's, I think they have a captioning API, but then they give you SRT file. They give you the time codes. The SRT file has, it's per word. And I was just like, all right, so I got to do more math to figure out which ones I should bring together. I was just like, oh, this is annoying. May I join? What do you want to talk about? BLM supporter, epileptic, 20, Instagram, Maya Van Art. I don't know if I have much more in me. I was going to, yeah. Why is the account one of those? Is this account one of those parodies? I'm not sure what you mean parodies. And maybe you're joking. You get like $300 of free credit. All right. Of course. Of course. I understand if you don't want. Name a car for an edit. Veloster. Veloster. My projects are 2 to 3 hours long. Eesh. Oh, is that what the TikTok is about? Like the projects itself? It's fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I got much more in me. Been going for nearly 2 hours now, and today I woke up. I felt like I got hit by a semi truck. I don't know why. I did start taking some creatine. I haven't in a long time, and it's that Echo Vision stuff. So it tastes good. It is the best tasting creatine I've ever had. Like, I was like, wow, I didn't know you could make creatine taste this good, and it dissolves really well. Um, but yeah, how's it going though, Maya? Um, uh, 20 Instagram. Maya Van Art. Let me check out your Instagram. Maya Van Art. Maya Van Art. Do you do art on? Oh, you got your TikTok here too. Hey, Maya. Okay. Instagram. Instagram. Let me check it out here. Maya Myers. Photography. Could honestly build it further and sell it, kind of like an Opus Clip SaaS project. Yeah. A. I like your username, bro. Uh, a pimp named Slickback, but that's gonna take a while. Yeah, that's the thing. Um, SaaS is there's all these like little things you got to get right to be able to sell, because it's not just you build the software. Unless you have product market fit, then you're good. Um, my Unless you have product market fit, but if you don't, then it's going to be a lot of selling. Yeah, it's tough. SaaS, it's like I even tried building a SaaS once, and it's hard. I got the functionality to work and work consistently, but it's the little things that I find so annoying, like setting up the payment processing, integrating with Stripe so that you can know that a payment was completed. And there's probably some like packages out there that I could have just used, but I was like, if I use this stuff and it breaks, then I can't fix it if I don't know it. So that was the part that was tough for me. Market trends, exposure marketing. You could build the best product, but people may not see it. Yeah. And that's the thing I learned about this like whole social media and doing things in public thing. Like it doesn't matter if you have the best product. It doesn't matter. Like what matters is whether or not people know you even exist. And that's the hardest part, which I'm hoping this platform, Table Moments, could be a way to give people a shortcut to that. Like you come on the podcast, you talk about what you got going on, and you get at least some initial following or some traction without having to do the slow grind like everyone else has to do. Even including me, I had to do from the beginning. Like it was a slow grind. It's annoying because it's just like I listened to some of my older stuff that I posted back in the day, even when it was just audio clips with just the image. It's funny clips, man, but if no one can see it, then there's no point. It's fast and mediocre. Yeah, it is usually. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like fast and mediocre is better if what you have actually solves something that a problem, or at least you can position it in the right way. Cause like it can be, if it's fast and mediocre, but it doesn't actually have that like product market fit type energy, then it's going to stay mediocre and you're not going to get any feedback. But if you do have something where you just scratch an itch that needs perfectly for this area that wasn't being served, then yes, it can be mediocre and people will still use it and they'll throw money at you. And so that's like, it's you can choose the right thing, but I think that also requires a little bit of like insight and inspiration to realize maybe something needs to exist and you make it real. Like I've read and studied the origins of like all these founders of these like interesting and weird companies, like Dyson, the vacuum. Like no one would have guessed you need a vacuum that costs like $600. Who would buy that? But he recognized the fundamental flaw with vacuums. All vacuums at the time used the bag system, where you put in a fresh bag, you start vacuuming, and the way it works is it's sucking all this air, and the air is going through the bag. And so the air is porous, but it traps dirt and particles and stuff. But what does that necessarily mean? It means as it pulls air and pulls particles into that bag, those holes, those gaps in the fibers of the bag end up getting plugged up by the dirt that had gone in it. So the strongest suction you'll ever get out of a vacuum is when you first install a bag. It will deteriorate over time. So the vacuum's performance gets worse. And so he's like, the bag is the problem. You need something outside of a bag. And I think he studied some sort of like, I don't know, in some industry, they use these like cyclone method of like filtering dust or capturing stuff or whatever. I think it's like used in farming or whatever. And he was like, what if we can miniaturize that? And so he just spent a bunch of time in his basically garage building this for like the last 7-8 years, something like that. Finally getting it to work in a vacuum. And so it can maintain suction because it doesn't use a bag that ends up getting blocked. But then he had the vision for it. He knew he had this fundamental premise, and he knew what was being used was wrong. And yet it took him that long to actually make it happen. And now it's a big company. So fast and mediocre until you have large enough recurring customer base. The funny thing is, you may not get that customer base. Here's the thing. I think there's a difference between B2B and B2C. Like if you're doing B2C, it kind of has to be good. It kind of has to be good. Unless you're one of these freak companies like Facebook but even Google. Google was superior to all the other search engines at that time. And so it's like, if you're doing B2C, business to consumer, if you're serving consumers, they don't have a tolerance for mediocre products. Like they need it almost finished, which is why, or at least polished. It doesn't have to be finished. Maybe in the back end, it's all really janky or whatever. But as far as delivery and what you're giving them, it kind of needs to be there because consumers have zero patience. As far as a business, though, if you're solving a business need where you're saving them time or you're saving them money, then they will deal with it with a mediocre product because the finances of it still make sense because you're saving them time or money. Saving them time saves them money. And then also saving them money is also good, but then also being able to multiply their revenue. So if your product can actually increase their productivity so that they can offset the cost of your product with the increased revenue, plus they get to make more, then it's an easy financial decision, even if your product is mediocre. And so like, this is where the B2B stuff is far more forgiving if you can get that to happen. But I've noticed with like consumers, no, your stuff has to be, unless you've built a personal relationship and they just like your energy or whatever, you know? Or you can lie like half the Y Combinator startups, and then once you secure the funding, you build. Yeah, I saw that post. I think someone mentioned that. Just lie to people. And this is here's a funny thing. Like, what is that question they asked? What's that Y Combinator question? Y Combinator question. What was that time what was the question? Hack. Yeah. Let's see. The new question. Please tell us about the time you most successfully hacked some non-computer system to your advantage. And it's just like, do you realize you're filtering for people who will essentially lie or cheat? Like, and that's essentially what you're doing when you ask that as a question. Because I see opportunities to hack things all the time, and I just don't, because it would just be wrong morally. But like, I guess some people do, and it doesn't bother them. But I guess that's kind of what you need to be if you're going to be $1 billion unicorn. Right, exactly. It's just like, do they realize they're selecting for sociopaths? It's like, all right. And then you wonder why they falsify their daily active users. It's like you literally selected for this. Like, yeah, didn't that happen with like some companies? It's like, you got to survive. You got to be able to play the game. You got to, bend the rules. It's just like, I don't know. Let's see. I believe it's because that question is part of your founder profile. Answers the questions in your aren't included in the copy. Okay. Um, yeah, it's interesting. So I don't know. I don't know really how to navigate that stuff because I get it. Because like if you're going to conduct business in a place that's like rife with regulation, letting that stop you. Like here's the thing. The first company I started was with some friends. I wanted to start a telecommunications company, providing home internet to rural customers through cell towers. And I wanted to formalize it. I actually wanted to get the go ahead from these cell providers. A lot of people were doing that already, but they were doing it on the low. They were getting these tablet lines established with these cell providers and then reselling it to people in rural areas. And they were selling them these like modems that could accept SIM cards, and they were charging them hella, like 400 bucks for the unit, and then on top of that, like some crazy amount per month for the cell service, even though, and that's the margin. That's how they were making the margin. I was like, that's wrong. One, you shouldn't even charge them on the equipment because you make the money back through the monthly payments. And so what I try to do, I reached out to a lot of these cell providers to see if we can legitimize this. So, but you know, got the runaround, and yeah, they weren't interested in working with us. And it turns out T-Mobile was working on their own thing in the meantime, which is why they didn't bother working with us. But a lot of people do it, and they do it on the low. That one girl that promised to screen for every disease through a simple at-home blood test. Yeah, what's her name? I know it's Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes stole like hundreds of millions and only got a few years in jail. Yeah. It's like bold about the future, but I here's the thing. I get it. On the other hand, yeah, it is lying for sure, but she probably believed her own BS, you know? It's like, and then you have everyone gassing you up, and you're female in tech, so everybody's like on you because they want to see you succeed. And then, yeah, and then you're just like, whatever. So it is what it is. I don't know. This whole tech world stuff, it's so weird how a lot of these people are just like, I don't know. They're kind of disconnected from the world in a weird way. And it's funny because it's like all this tech stuff, like, I don't know. I could go off on this, but I don't know if that would be that useful. Like we overvalue, I think we overvalue software, and we undervalue things in the world, like the physical, the world of atoms versus the world of bits. Because the only reason the world of bits exists is to push things in the world of atoms. And yet, for whatever reason, the financial incentives work in favor of the world of bits. And it doesn't even make any sense, because it's like the digital world is not the reason why we can enjoy the lives that we have. You know, the physical world that relies on people actually making things in the real world. But thoughts on Mr. Beast? Yeah, I think he lacks. I know. I hate. You know, I'm gonna start. I don't care to. I'm gonna stop using the hate word so flippantly. But everyone thinks Mr. Beast is a great content creator. He's not. He makes McDonald's content. And this is the way I describe it. I actually started writing a script for this too. I was thinking about doing a whole video essay related to this, but it's like if you listen to the All In podcast with a bunch of VCs or whatever, they talk about, oh, Mr. Beast is going to be $1 billion content creator and he's the greatest content creator. It's like they define him as the greatest because he is at the top of this game. But that doesn't mean he's creative at all. He's not creative. He thinks he's creative, and he has it down to a science for sure, but he makes McDonald's content. By any definition you use, you could describe McDonald's as the best restaurant in the world. They have the most locations. They're the most familiar. Everyone knows it. Everyone's familiar with it. They have the name recognition. They span across countries and cultures. They have a taste profile that is broad enough to apply to anybody. By any measurable metric you could use, you would describe McDonald's as the best restaurant in the world. But no one would classify McDonald's as good food. Nobody. And so that's what Mr. Beast is. That's what his content is. It's McDonald's. That's what it is. You get these people just like get a hard on for him because he's just like, he's at the top. Because all they see is the money. They don't see the lack of creativity, all the basic stuff that appeals to, and they purposely dumb down their videos to appeal to the broadest audience because it's essentially designed to be that way. So that's my opinions on Mr. Beast. And it's like, I'm not impressed. Cool plaques, bro, but it's whatever. He makes barely good enough content masked as a business. I think he's got it down to a science. They literally dumb down their videos to have the broadest appeal. How many buses can we jump over other buses? You know, it's just like, and I think he's trying to go in a different direction now as he gets older. And I think he's starting to realize like that young audience who are just kids who have no money aren't that useful to have. It's a cool metric to have, but, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't like how when it comes to the creative space, they put this guy at the top, even though his stuff isn't even that creative. This is the difference between like the Mr. Beast and the Casey Neistats. And I think Casey understands the game. And so he's playing it differently. And guys like Mr. Beast don't get it. People who don't make content don't understand the difference between creative work and like just as a business to get views and clicks and likes. And so that's the difference. That's the difference. And so like I'm leaned heavily towards the Casey direction. I'm not that good yet, but eventually I want to go in that direction. I'm not making content to optimize for views. And you hear some of these YouTubers and how they talk about it. It's like, yeah, I made it like this and I put this graphic here because I knew it was going to get views. And then I looked at my retention and watch time and I tested 15 different thumbnails. And it's just like no creativity at all. These guys, I don't know, have no soul in this game is what I'm saying. So that's how I feel about it. Hey, Arira, nice to see you here. The formula is simple. Also, I feel like he's playing a character, overly humble, save the world. He's a data scientist turned YouTuber. I think he's a YouTuber turned data scientist. I think it's backwards. He started off as a YouTuber and then realized the only way to win at this, at least for him, the only way to win at this game is to be hyper analytical of this stuff. And it's killed YouTube. Like that's why everything copies him now. Everything copies him. Even the way intros to videos are just like, you have to spoil it at the beginning. Otherwise you're going to lose people. This is the thing I don't like about the format. Hey Creed, nice to see you here. I wonder what the future of Mr. Beast would look like. Yeah, I think he's moving away from that direction. And I think he just did an interview with Colin and Samir where he explained like his videos are much longer. They're not as dramatically fast paced like they used to be. They're not as dumbed down as they used to be. But then he gave everyone that advice. So it's just like, this guy, I don't know. No soul in it, bro. No soul. There has to be a bottleneck with the analytics though. At some point it would peak. I don't know. I say screw the algorithm. Like I've gotten to the point where at least with Instagram, like I know a video does well when it gets hella shares, when people share it with each other. I think this is the way things were classically went viral was when other people shared it with each other. This idea that an algorithm can decide it based on stupid metrics like click-through rate and watch time. It sounds so logical. And I get why software developers or the algorithm engineers at Google could think that. But if you really break it down, it's like, why would it matter that they have a good thumbnail? And what is it that your algorithm's actually doing? And what are you incentivizing? That's the biggest part. They don't even think about the incentives. I would be embarrassed if I was a YouTube engineer about how I think the algorithm's mediocre, actually. I think it's mediocre. And it pushes people towards their vices, which is naturally what's going to happen because that's how you get the views and that's how you draw people in through anger and emotion. And so it's just like, you want to elevate the world? It's not going to be using metrics, shallow metrics like click-through rate and watch time. Although it does work for a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie. If a person can be interesting enough that all they have to do is turn on a camera and talk, that is some top-notch skill. You have to deliver some real value to hold people's attention with talking. Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. And here's the thing. People who appreciate this type of content, who like these are the same people who enjoy listening to podcasts, long form discussions and stuff like that. We are a small segment of the population. Like for a lot of people, unless it's talking about like pop culture or relevant, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this stuff, but it's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of things wrong with the game, but it's just how people are. So maybe I'm wrong, you know? There's always a way to abuse the system, exactly. And this is the problem. But then again, YouTubers could farm little kids to share their content for sure. Or you know what they do? You know what Mr. Beast does? Like a lot of these content creators, especially on Instagram, you see this stuff where they do like prizes and stuff. It's like it is manipulative. They're manipulating the platform and people. It's like, hey, DM me, or it's like, oh, you know, let me give you the secret on how to do this stuff. Just DM or put in the comments, show me, show me, show me. And that's just that's obviously abusing the system. Like it's nice, you know, it's a genuine piece of content when people share their thoughts in the comment section because they feel compelled to on their own. And unfortunately, I'm in a position where a lot of my posts actually do that on Instagram right now, which is cool. Like people disagree with me all the time, and I like it because I get to actually hear people's thoughts, and I like that people get to share what they're thinking, which isn't normally the case. And I like that Table Moments could be a place where people can do that. Twitter is like 90% bots right now. It's insane. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Like a lot of these platforms, the way I think of these platforms as just like utility vehicles or like utilities. This is a place where we get to connect with each other. They have to worry about the hosting and the connections between people. But I think there should be an independent way that people can contact each other, at least in case of emergency, or at least build a mailing list, a shared mailing list idea. I've been thinking about this idea for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to, I don't know if the timing's quite right yet, but like everyone's talking about, oh, we need a new platform. We need a new platform. It's like, you're not going to compete with these big players. They have network effects that are huge. And it's incredibly hard to get people to use a new app, which is the magic of TikTok. As much as you can hate TikTok, which I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok, but what they've managed to do despite all these incumbents in this space is to be noted. It's a very hard thing to do. And so it's like the likelihood of, hey, everyone's going to be on Rumble. Yeah. All right. Good luck. Like, kick. Yeah, I don't know. You know, getting people to use a new thing is very, very hard. Instead of competing on that level, you compete in a different direction in a way they don't even care to, in a way they can't. So right now, there's no way to take a following on one platform and bring them to another. And the platforms don't make it easy too. There's no way to export your YouTube subscribers. There's no way to export your Instagram followers or your TikTok following. There's no way. And they don't have an incentive to do it. And I always wondered if you ever, because this reminds me of like the Visa credit card system and how that came to be. Originally, credit cards were in competition with each other. All these banks had their own credit cards, and they all had like different form factors, and some cards have holes in them. Some cards are different sizes, and they were so there was no unity in the system. And so there was a lot of inefficiencies because of it. And so they were constantly competing with each other. And this guy, D Hawk, decided, it's like, yo, this is not right. We need to standardize on something and create this organization where credit can be universal between banks. So banks can issue their own credit cards, but they can all interoperate with each other. And so they created the Visa credit card system, in combining all these banks together, or at least the operation and standardizing between all these banks. And I'm wondering why there isn't something like that for social media. I know there's like ActivityPub, so it's a protocol, but I think that there needs to be, because I was thinking about it, because like I built an app that helped me post content to multiple platforms simultaneously. I worked with Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok's APIs. And I actually got a chance to work with all of them in my app. Literally, I would upload the piece of media, put a description, and then hit send, and it would send it everywhere. So essentially, the same piece of content that was like 50 to 100 megabytes was being copied and shared onto 6 separate servers. And I'm just like, how wasteful is that? You know? But I mean, this is what they had to do. What else could they do? Because they're in competition with each other and they don't share data. And so I was just like, maybe there's an opportunity to like consolidate all this stuff. And then maybe the platforms are just like front ends, different front ends you could use. And they all just pull from the same sort of back. That's why Elon bought Twitter. You can't easily migrate a huge user base. That's true. That's true. Almost impossible. Hence Threads. Yeah, exactly. And Threads had to use the advantage of Instagram, otherwise they would not have the adoption. And now, like, it's pretty dead there too. Not to be rude, but were you born bald? Aren't we all born bald? But no, I had hair as a kid. Okay. Chapter 4, cheer, slay middle, God. I'm confused by your description, London, but it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this, especially doing the social media stuff. And I don't think anyone would take anything I say seriously until, well, I mean, some people would. On Instagram and TikTok, they might. YouTube, not so much, but it'd be cool to pull that off. I just got to like get into the habit of making like long horizontal YouTube videos. And so far I've just been doing podcasts, but it would be cool to just be able to build a project and then publish it. And like I said earlier, it's usually 6 months of thinking about something before I get so frustrated with it that I just go and do it. And I'm getting to that point right now. And so I'm getting pissed at myself. And that's how I move. But then once I get started, the momentum just takes me and it's just like, yo, what's like a new, is there more to that? End goal that you're trying to achieve within 6 months, give or take? I've been focusing on the e-commerce stuff, so selling these wallets. And that's been actually going decently well. Yeah. So I think I'm going to scale that up. I gotta disassemble an impulse sealer to be able to use it more effectively to make these ends. Maybe make some upgrades to it. I have some equipment coming in from Amazon, or some like parts coming in. I got access to a makerspace, so I'm going to be using their electronics room to be able to build this, so I can make these a lot faster. Because right now the limit is production, so that's why I can't increase the ad spend yet. But my ROAS is 2.5. So for every dollar of ad spend, I get $2.50. I want to increase that. It would be dope if I could get it to 3. If I could get it to 5, that would be crazy. But I mean, it's a unique product in a niche market, so that might be hard to do. I might double down on social media and make a separate account for this so I can just post a bunch of videos about this, and then maybe do like an artist series where I actually put art and stuff. I do. It's on TikTok Shop, but the thing is with TikTok Shop, people are so used to coupons and paying so little for stuff that $20 for something like this is too much of an ask for them. That's what I've noticed. And it turns out the people who've been buying this are like men between 35 and 55. So those aren't really TikTok audience people. So Facebook has been working really well. So I might dedicate the Facebook page to just this stuff. You know what? There you go. Maybe I'll just do that. Because I have the Facebook page and it automatically reposts the Instagram posts to Facebook. But maybe all the content on Facebook could be related to the product itself. And I've already tailored the page for that. So I'll just do that and just double down on content and make it specifically for Facebook, since all my customers are generally coming from there. And see if I can scale this up to a point that I can hire somebody to make these after I build some of the tools. And I'm working on some software right now to include intelligent mail barcode, USPS intelligent mail barcodes onto the envelopes. And I'm working on putting it together as a Shopify app so it can be in Shopify and I could just click a button and print these automatically, so I can scale that up faster. And then I have access to this makerspace so I can actually make the packaging a lot faster. And so if I can scale this up, the actual production of this to like, if I could get to the point where I can make 30 an hour, then I could just literally spend $1,000 in ads a day and then get profit $1,500 from that. after recouping the cost of the ads. It's crazy how this e-commerce stuff works. If you can make the equation work, you're basically printing money at that point. And the cool thing is, because all of this is running through a credit card, the bonus points on these are insane. So it'd be cool to like actually make that work with this, and it makes content creation sustainable. And it'd be cool to like offer this as a product for other content creators, specifically in the finance space. I think it makes sense with their own branding, and they can sell this, and the margins on these are great. You know what? I was read an interesting way to sell premium products. Airports, not how. Yeah, though probably a little expensive to start. You got a patent on it? Maybe I should get a patent on the method, because I don't actually sew these. I fuse these. So maybe I'll get a patent on the method. I don't even know if it's patentable, but it's a wallet, so it's not that unique of a design, but maybe I could get a patent on the method of production. So I'll look into it. But I mean, like, if anyone in China wants to compete with me, patents are not going to be the thing that stops them. And not only that, patents have to be enforced. It's not enough to have a patent on it and it means people aren't going to like try to violate it. It means people will violate it and you have rights against them. So then now you have to hire an attorney to fight on your behalf to defend your patent. In which case it's just like, what? So I have to spend all this money to get the patent, and then on top of that I have to spend all this money to defend my rights? Yeah, so it's just like, what? It's like, I don't know. This is why I understand, like, it's not even worth it sometimes to get the patent, because it's just like, if you're not big, you might as well just outcompete them in like service and quality, which I think I can do, especially considering how much I care. And people love the product, and now they're referring friends and people they know to buy the product, which is crazy, because I'm just like, yes, got to that point. But even then I want to make it better. I actually want to make like the packaging more custom. Maybe use ChatGPT to like generate images that I can print on the envelope too. And so it'd be cool to like, not only do you get a cool wallet in a package, I also include a $2 bill with every order as a surprise. They never know that they get it. And I've gotten a couple comments from people. It's like, oh, thanks for the $2 bill. It's just like, yeah, no worries, bro. And here's the thing. The reason why I do the $2 bill is because I think it's funny, one. And two, human perception. The $2 bill has a higher perceived value than the actual monetary value of a $2 bill. Because I could easily put two $1 bills in a wallet, but it would not hit as hard as a $2 bill would, because of the uniqueness and the rarity of running into these things. And so this is like where you can create magic in the mind. It's only $2, and I've already priced that $2 bill in the price of the product itself. And so as far as I'm concerned, like it's in the I factor that in my calculation, so I still make money on these things. But it's one of those like surprise and delight features where people don't expect it and then they get it. It's a surprise. Not only did you buy the thing and got the thing you expected to get, but you got so much extra because a $2 bill it's a novelty thing. This is how it originally started. I was making transparent wallets, and the idea being like, you can sticker bomb a transparent wallet. So this is a plastic wallet. And that's what led to this design eventually that I made. This one's a experimental logo, but this is the normal logo. And the metal corners are experimental. I might add those in future ones, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is my daily. So yeah, it's cool. It's good for older dudes, and that's what I'm noticing. But there's been a couple of women who've ordered it too. Does TikTok have an advertising program? They do. They do. I haven't experimented with it though. Like they say, focus one product, one avatar, one channel. Right now, the channel that's been working for me is Facebook, or at least Facebook ads or Meta ads, I guess, because they post it on Instagram too, which I should have realized at the beginning, but I didn't. And then I stumbled on my own ads, and then I was like, oh, this is what my ads look like. And it turns out they play music, weird music, but they do. But I have to double down on like the creative testing to see what works. And then once I find something that like basically prints money, then I just double, triple, quadruple down on it, just funnel money there. And then based on the product sales, and then figuring out the bottleneck of like being able to manufacture. It's crazy. Like e-commerce is a tough game, but if you can make it work, bro, you can really print money on this. And I think it'd be hilarious to turn this into $1 million business, which is only 50,000 wallets. I know it sounds like a lot, but that's about 150 wallets a day. If I can figure out how to make that many in a 8-hour period, which means, let's do the math. 150 divided by 8. I need to be able to make 20 wallets an hour. If I can get $20, which gives me 3 minutes per wallet to manufacture and package. If I can get to that point, then it's just a matter of scaling up, which then is an operations problem. But at that point, it's just like, it's basically printing money. And I think it would be hilarious to turn this into $1 million business just because I don't care about the money. I just think it's hilarious. Like, it's like, I don't think people understand that you can really run a business doing weird things like selling wallets. There's a company out here who specializes in Nerf gun enhancements, who specifically like makes accessories, upgrade kits for Nerf guns, or like they also 3D print their own custom version, and a bunch of accessories and stuff. It's called Out of Darts. Really cool. There's also this other company that specifically sells lighting kits for Legos. So you know those Lego kits where it's like Eiffel Tower or the pyramids, and then you build the kit and then you have it on display. If you're putting it on display, why wouldn't you put lights in it? That was his thesis. And turns out there's a big community, and he runs his business. He calls it Light My Bricks. It's perfect. And he's doing numbers. And it got me thinking, like, it's hard to imagine, but the world is a lot bigger than we think it is. It's a lot bigger. For these wallets, to get this to $1 million business, I would have to sell 50,000, which means 50,000 people have to buy this. Or maybe they make multiple purchases, but let's assume each one of those 50,000 wallets was one person. How many men are there in the country? This is just the US. I made this specifically for US currency. That's not even including the rest of the world. But like, there are about 300, let's call it 350 million Americans. Half of them are men. So we're talking about like 175 million people, right? You see, it's like, what 50,000 isn't a lot compared to that, is what I'm saying. So yeah, we underestimate how big the world is. It really do be the most niche business that print money, basically. Yeah, nylon instrument strings. Yeah, they break cheap. You need at least 5-6 of them. Simple math. Yeah, as long as you can make the equations work, you figure out your cost of goods sold, COGS, and then you figure out how to ship it, logistics and all that, and then you figure out how much it will cost to acquire a customer, and if that number is right, and you can make that equation work, and there is money left over for you in your pocket, then it's simply a matter of scaling it. And the more money there is in your pocket left over after that equation, the easier it is to scale, and the less you have to sell. Now, I have a fixed price, $20 for this. Now, what I'm thinking about is increasing the average order value by including things like this, like a transparent wallet that you can add to your order for like an extra $4, or maybe adding these metal embellishments to this that for like an extra $3 or something that give it a more premium look. But it's not necessary because all the wallets I've sold didn't have this metal stuff on it. But and then it turns out, because of the finances of e-commerce and the way fixed costs work, it's actually in your favor for every increase in dollar that you increase the average order value. So by adding something that costs, by increasing this $20 order value to $24, I actually double my take-home profit. And that's just because of all the fixed costs that are associated with e-commerce. And so when you understand the finances of it and the equation and how it all works out, you realize this is possibly a game you can win if you can build something to a point where it can work. So it's tough in the beginning figuring it out, and it's slow. And like the first like 2-3 weeks of me running this, I was actually losing money on each one of these. Now I'm making money on each one of these. So that's good. Now it's about making more and scaling up. And it'd be cool. It'd be cool. So that's what I'm working on right now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. E-commerce is a tough business. And then on top of that, I'm realizing all these different problems, these business problems that come up as I make this. Like that's why I'm working on the Shopify app. And that could easily be a SaaS. So it'd be a cool spinoff. Just like, hey, you want intelligent mail barcodes for packages that fit into standard or large envelopes. Hey, here's what you can use so you don't have to increase you can, instead of getting USPS ground shipping, which is probably the cheapest option for most people, which is like if you go through an aggregator about $3.50. Instead, if you can include a USPS intelligent mail barcode instead, and you could track it through their API and build a web interface or something, then it's literally the cost of a stamp. So that's literally what it cost me to ship these to people. I include free shipping, and the free shipping cost me 68 cents because I use a stamp and it fits in an envelope, and it's pretty cool. So I thought about those things, and it's pretty cool. Got to this point, and it's made money, and I'm profitable. And so now it's just a matter of like scaling up the building, and then I can scale up the attention and scale up the ads, and then turn it into $1 million business, show up on Shark Tank and be like, why would we invest in something like this? Because like I built the machine that builds this. Or like I built a SaaS product off of this. I built a whatever. And I think it's hilarious. The idea is just funny. Yeah, it's hilarious to me, man. It's like, wait, you make $1 million? You made $1 million selling wallets? Yeah, that's right. That's right. You are underestimating Mark Cuban. Yeah, especially when I could get Mavericks branding on this is probably what I would do. Or maybe it'd be funny if I like bring the machine into Shark Tank, and they're like, okay, why would we invest in something like this? Well, because it's made in America. And literally, like, there is no labor cost. The fabric goes into this machine, it folds, it laser cuts, because I actually use a laser cutter to actually cut these patterns out, which I think is a pretty cool flex. Like, I bring a laser cutter in front of the sharks, and then it just like cuts it out in 30 seconds, automatically takes it to this folding machine that folds it, and then automatically folds off the edges and fuses it. And then it's just a simple tuck and fold, and boom, you got a product. And be like, this is how we make it. We literally make it to order. We don't have any inventory. It literally is orders come in and we make them. And it happens in like in a minute, they're made. I think that'd be really cool. And then while that's happening, a printer's package already took the customer information and created the barcode and printed the envelope and the holder that it sits on. So maybe it can be customized. And then it's just assembly. So you take that and you put it into the holder that basically cardstock with some printing on it. And yeah. And then automate the order notification to start the machine. Couple servo motors. Yeah. And then automatically, it'd be cool. And then maybe even postage is handled through the printer too. So you don't even have to like peel off it and then put it on there. And then literally it's just like in a minute, an order is fulfilled. And then it'd be cool. It's like, and then here's how we track it all. We use USPS's API to show you where exactly in the country it is. And because of where we're located, we can get it to anyone's door in about 3 days, in 3 days or less. Or it would be cool to have multiple distribution centers or manufacturing centers where it's like one on the West Coast, one central, one on the East Coast. And then they all can deliver within their zone within 2 days. And then, so it's like Amazon. That would be so cool. That'd be so cool. You better start working on this and patent it. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it'd be so cool. Get that CAD file set up. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. And here's the thing. I think it's the mechanical engineer in me that likes the manufacturing process. You know, like my favorite show is How It's Made. Love that show. Like I could watch that endlessly, man. Just like, oh, here's how erasers are made. Oh, here's how bubble gum's made. Oh, here's how this tractor tire is made. And I could just watch those. But now I get to live it. I get to actually make that process. And it would be cool to do like small scale, like a pop-up factory that fits into a small, tiny room. It's like, you know what? I was even thinking long term, it'd be cool to have a loom so we can actually make the fabric ourselves. And so this is an interesting pattern. It's cool. It uses like an automated loom, but it would be cool to get a jacquard loom, which basically lets you pixelize essentially this fabric so you can put designs in there in real time. And so I think that'd be really cool, where you can actually draw images or logos or artwork that's custom, maybe monocolor or multicolor, on your wallet, and then it becomes an art piece that you carry in your pocket. That's long-term vision, bro. But that's a jacquard loom, and it has all these like individual servo-controlled needles that control each thread that gets woven. So I think that'd be really cool long term. I don't know, that's a few years down the line for sure, but I think that'd be really cool. And it's just like, how do you compete with that? This guy makes custom wallets, like, and then they're art pieces. And so like this maybe is the introductory where it's just like sticker bombing your own wallet, but eventually something like that. Maintenance on that would be insane though. Yeah, it is. Like in fact, with these jacquard looms, they never unthread them. They just tie on to the existing thread because it's so labor intensive to actually thread thousands of needles that are constantly whatever. So that's a hard thing to do. But here's the thing. Those are giant looms. I'm thinking for something like this, the pattern is only like this big and that big. So I only need the loom to be this wide, like about this wide, just to make a piece of fabric that can be laser cut. So that, I think there's an issue with the square cube law when it comes to machines, the full size machines. But I think I have the advantage of needing something smaller. And so maybe I can make it. And this is what the wallet normally looks like. It doesn't have the logo yet. And I haven't cut the excess yet. And these are fused edges here. And these are the whatever, simple. Let's see, packaging. Do I have any packaging? No, I don't. It's over there. Where do you live? I live in Austin, Texas. So, yeah. I don't know. Like manufacturing's fun. Just, I don't know. It definitely tickles my brain a little bit. I enjoy it. And now I have access to a maker space, so I'm going to be able to experiment in building this stuff. Right now, the next step is like speeding up the process of like fusing the layers of fabric together. Right now I use an impulse sealer, but it's sort of finicky and you have to align it properly. It works consistently, but it's just a lot of effort to get it right and requires a little bit of training to get it right. Instead, I want something as simple as you just shove it up to something that aligns it, and then you just fold it over, and then you hit it, or you just press it down and it automatically does it. And it'd be cool if I cut the laser pattern for this at the right point so that it actually fuses it and fuses the edge, so I don't have to even do this this whole cutting process of cutting the excess off. Instead, it's cut perfectly, and then the line actually happens right at the edge. So that's one step eliminated from the manufacturing of these. And then that makes it a lot easier to automate too. So it's a crazy idea, I know. But I mean, I'm getting sales, so I think it's cool. It's working. And the only reason I did it was because I was like, I like it. Well, what other people like it? So I think it would be hilarious. I just think it's funny. It's just so funny. I don't know. What do you guys have? What do you guys have? I could talk your ears off about this kind of stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me that finds it interesting because I'm really in it. I'm in it like that, yo. And then obviously the whole spin-off of the SaaS product, tracking all this information and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah. Eventually I want to like give all this information, all my learnings away for free. I've been thinking about like all the stuff I've learned from social media, putting together a video series that I just give away on YouTube. Maybe I would unlist it so I can capture some emails, but even then I don't like it when people do that. So maybe I'll just make it public and be like, yo, if you have any questions, hit me up, or put your email here, or submit a form with your question, and then I could capture emails by giving you guys some value first. That would probably work on TikTok. Yeah, maybe I'll just make a video series for that too. I was thinking like I should probably shoot it vertical only. Yeah, just a series. That's a good idea, bro. I might just do that. I'll make the videos vertical. I'll post it to YouTube, and I'll make a video series on TikTok. Like, here's how I make content. Here's how you can get into the content game. Here's what I've learned. And it's about finding your own voice and what you care to create. Because that's the thing. It's not about, yeah, everyone could give you the advice about you got to be consistent, you got to show up daily, you got to engage with the audience, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't actually enjoy what you're making or what you're speaking about, you're not going to enjoy the process. And if you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to stick with it. And that's what it requires, long-term commitment to something. And it's easy to commit to it when you enjoy it. And you can only enjoy it if you're saying the things that you want to say, or you're engaging in the way you want to engage, or you're attracting the right people. And so that's the caveat. Now, there's certain things you can talk about that will make it easier to grow on social media. Money, relationships, health. Those are the things people generally are focused on. Like how to make more money, how to get with people, and then how to look better naked, basically. If you talk about one of those things, it's definitely easier to build an audience. And so I could give everything I know. Like, I don't know, people think you need a bunch of equipment to be able to post content. You don't. When I first got started, I didn't have equipment. I just used my iPhone, and that's literally all I did. I did need something to edit these videos on, so I ended up getting a Mac Mini. But yeah. So yeah, that's a good idea. I'll make the video series, and then first I'll organize it from like, I want to organize it so that you can get started right away. Cause I hate how these video series are like, they're not organized in a way that you can just take action right away. They're all organized so that like you have to know it all before you can even get started. Or they start with the absolute beginning, which is like, here's what this is, here's what this is, here's the layout, here's how you structure it. It's just like, none of this stuff is actionable. I want to just jump in with the first video and like, here's how you can make a piece of content right now. It's not going to be the best, but it's going to be something. And then you can post. And I think just getting over that hang up, that mental hang up, like we were talking about, the momentum, getting that started is the first step. Yeah, it's not going to be that good, but it's okay. You know? So I think I'm going to organize it that way. And then as you go through the series, you're going to be making more and more content. And so maybe by the end of it, you've made like 5 to 10 pieces of content, and you'll notice how much better they've gotten from first to last. I think that'd be cool. Let's see. Oh, thoughts on the Nickelodeon situation? I have no idea what's happening with Nickelodeon. I've learned that you kind of have to optimize towards what you like. Otherwise, it's just an uphill battle for sure. Yep. LeBron in a different universe. I don't know. Don't know anything. What's going on? I don't know. What's happening with the Nickelodeon situation? Is there something, iCarly or something? Nickelodeon. Yeah, I don't know. They're getting exposed. It's all over Twitter. Is it? You guys want me to read some of these tweets? Quiet on set, and they booted my kid off. Wait, realizing we were kids watching Nickelodeon, not knowing that these poor kids who were making us laugh were getting abused by that disgusting predator behind the cameras. I'm sick to my core. Like, this world is sickening. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, that one. Okay. I mean, Hollywood is notorious for abusing everyone in the industry who isn't at the top. Quiet on set? I mean, why are people surprised? On set? It's a documentary? Don't tell me it's one of these like Netflix release something and then everyone gets dramatic about it kind of situations. The 4-part docuseries highlights allegations of abusive. You can't trust documentaries, guys. Come on. Like, they have. Oh man, I wish people knew that documentaries were just as false as like movies and TV shows. At least movies and TV shows don't pretend to be something that they're not. Entertainment. Yeah, that one. Just thought you find it interesting. Yeah, I guess. But like former Drake and Josh, Drake Bell, and other former child actors are opening up about the abuse, sexism, and racism they face while working on Nickelodeon's TV series In a Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Yeah. Split into 4 episodes, the investigation discovery docuseries is available to watch on demand. Of course, they got a plug. All right. Yeah, I'll look into it, I guess. But I mean, I don't really care for pop culture, and I don't know. All this drama stuff just seems so distracting, which I mean, cool, but it's like decades later. 90 sets run by Dan Schneider, who created Nickelodeon hit programs like The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, and Sam and Cat, who launched the careers of Kenan Thompson, Amanda Bynes, Victoria Justice, Miranda Cosgrove, Jeanette McCurdy, and others. I don't know. I only know Kenan and Amanda Bynes, maybe. 4 episodes is crazy. Obviously, cash grab. I don't know. But, yeah. It's also available to buy or rent on Apple TV and Prime Video, of course. It's like, let's expose some things, but make sure we get you to pay for it. What? All right, bro. I get it. Work isn't free, but like, come on. If you're really trying to do exposure for the sake of exposure, you I don't know. Twitter, Brian Peck was a Nickelodeon production member working on Dan Schneider shows, Drake Bell. I don't know any of this stuff, dude. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, they got the same thing going on with Diddy. Exactly, the same thing with Diddy. It's like, hey, let's expose people as long as we can make some money from it. And it's just like, doesn't that kind of cheapen the incentives and the honesty of it all? And then people just believe documentaries like they don't come with bias too, which they do. I'm not trying to defend Hollywood, like screw Hollywood. They are, anyone who works in Hollywood, you have to be sort of awful because it's an industry that thrives on taking advantage of desperate people and power tripping. So I'm not here to defend it either, but it's like, come on. Nah, the Diddy stuff is actually interesting. He goes deep. Really? Yeah, I don't know. All right. I don't think I got more of you guys. Do you guys have any last minute things before I call it quits? If you're interested in a minimalist wallet or have any feedback on how I can improve the website, you can go to tamo.tv. I sell the wallets on that. That's the podcast page or website. And yeah, no obligation. Don't feel compelled. If you really like it, I make the orders. So it goes deep. Links to the Michael Jackson, links to Sony and Universal. Okay. All right. Anybody on YouTube or Twitch? Let's see I think it's just, yeah, one on YouTube, one on Twitch. Who's on Twitch? Could you put a one in the chat, Twitch? Who watches on Twitch? And you didn't say anything this whole time. That's crazy. Who is it? There's nothing here, but whatever. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to call it quits. Thank you for coming on a Tuesday night. I don't know. Maybe I'll come on later this week if I'm feeling energetic and I feel like going hard on some information or conspiracy theories. Yeah, good night to you, man. All the other people here, Manuel, Evan, Lenny, Tom Castle, and Black profile pic. I don't know. You don't have a name. But yeah, shout out to all you guys. Thank you for watching. Shout out to you, those of you on YouTube and Twitch. Appreciate it. Another week in the book. And appreciate you guys. Have a good week. And yeah. Thank you for being here. I still don't know how to close these off. And I think too tired to even like come up with something. So, all right. Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night. I'm going to end it. Bye. 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 Bye.